probably AliExpress.
Yeah, probably.
Zuma?
Okay, Zoomer.
Okay, Zuma.
Hey, Zoomers.
I am finally in the comfort of my own room, and I was going to say I feel sane again, but that's a bit of an exaggeration.
When do we ever?
Exactly.
Sanity's overrated.
It is indeed.
Yeah. The general plan was for me to cook my food, eat my food, and then be maybe on time or a little bit late, but ended up cooking food. By the time I cooked food, it was like past, and then it was like, right, as soon as the other part of my food finished cooking, I can just jump in Discord and just say, yeah, I'm here, but I'm cooking still. But then my mum likes to use me as a person to vent her frustrations or basically everything else.
Does she do the mum thing where they just natter about absolutely everything?
Yeah.
So they're going, uh-huh.
Yeah, my mum is very extremely well known for it. I could probably place her in a competition and she would probably win.
I don't know, I'll give her a run for her money.
Thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And she knows me quite well, considering she also works with children with autism. She knows when I'm zoning out and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, she still goes on, and then when I think it's over, I'm like, oh, it's great. She goes outside, comes straight back and says, oh yes, and I'm like,
another thing. Like, no.
And she's telling me stuff from yesterday that she already told me, and I'm like, you already told me this? And she's like, oh, did I? Are you sure? And I'm like, yes, I'm very.
This is exactly what it was like living at Daniel's, because Shirley would just come in and tell me everything. And I'd be like, you told me this already. And I need to go and do my work now, because I'm on a PGCE.
I like when they go, and then, do you know what they did next? And you're like,
oh my
did
god,
do?
what did they do?
It's literally just like, I can't be rude right now. I don't care, but I really can't be rude.
Yep.
It's even better when you're self-aware and living in their house and you're just like, ugh, if I basically tell her to fuck off right now, she's going to tell me, oh, well, that'll be fine when it comes to rent day. It's like, ugh.
Exactly.
I have the opposite where my mum will talk to me
out.
about stuff that she's just assuming that she's already talked to me about, and I'm like, you've never spoken about this.
Yeah, that's been happening to me a lot recently. I'll get, oh yeah, but we've got the meal on Saturday. And I'm like, what? Like, the meal on Saturday? What meal on Saturday?
I
Oh,
know
check the family chat. So I checked the family chat today because I spoke to Kieran to ask other Kieran what's like something about this weekend. And then other Kieran said to my Kieran, oh, well, it's the family meal this weekend. And we were both confused. And he was like, no, it definitely went in the family chat. And I checked today. And my dad literally just wrote, I was thinking of something like this, and then sent across the food. And that was the extent of the message.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I remember you saying that was like a really nice menu.
Yeah, and then I was like, when did we talk about the dates for this? And they were adamant. They told me, and I just wasn't listening. I was proven right. I checked the messenger and there was no date, there was no time. So I messaged today and then they were like, well, on Saturday, of course. Like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. No one said Saturday to me, okay?
No.
I'm not just being dumb.
Back in a second.
I've rolled my dice.
I rolled mine.
I rolled real shit.
Like,
good. Right.
Okay,
I need to get my stuff in order. But yes, I'm officially here. Hello.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
So desu ka?
Oh shit.
And I rolled a 6.
Would you look at that, ladies and gentlemen?
Would you look at that?
I think
Of
that
all-
might be recapping.
Of all the people it could have picked.
This is more challenging because everyone had had alcohol, okay? It's a more challenging memory game now.
Well, that kind of works better for the ball, doesn't it?
So, from what I can remember,
of our very in-person session, which was amazing and awesome and great.
Thank you, Chloe.
Yes, we'll thank her when she comes back. She's
Oh,
walked.
she gone.
From what I can remember, before the ball, Lycoris messed with the trapper's memory, and then he was unconscious for a few days. In this time, after he'd recovered, we spoke to Mummy Daywright about the ball. She said it'd be in 5 days' time. She was organising it all. In that time frame, Lycoris taught everyone how to dance, and apparently Vlad is a dance king and is really fucking good at it. And then we sent a message to Haraway about, like, can we have any jewelry or stuff that was left? And then Haraway was like, why are you bugging me? And then we carried on bugging him until we got what we wanted. And he sent some dresses and some jewelry, so we weren't looking like peasants. And then Anessa had some sort of one-to-one chat with Trafalgar's mum about dresses, because they're the same race and the same size and whatnot. And then I think that was all the stuff running up to it. We got dresses, we got clothes. I think Lycoris gave Brewin money to get a suit because Brewin's broke.
Not entirely. We had money from the bag of
Oh
holding.
yeah, Brewin paid for his own suit. I paid for Ishkari's suit
That was the one.
because Ishkari's got nothing. Ishkari's still traumatized. He is at the ball somewhere. I just don't think any of us have spoken to him because we're really, really good friends.
Yes.
And then when we went to the ball, we walked down the stairs and it was like that Bridgerton moment in the new season where everyone turns their heads and they're like, oh, because Esatari was literally
Who's
going.
that?
And then Esatari was basically being propositioned left, right, and centre for dances, and then someone got a bit too handsy, so Lycoris need them in the balls. And then after that, Trafalgar's brother and sister-in-law decided to come and do the guard duty because Lycoris was being too violent, so Lycoris went off to drink. At this point in time, Brewin, I think, was propositioned by a woman who knew him as Cliff and was like, come to our sexy room, and gave him a key. And then he was like, okay, maybe see you later. And then he went off around the room. Anessa was really vibing for a bit, and then she got really cranky because Vlad was looking happy. And he was dancing with a girl, and she didn't know who it was. And then Trafalgar came down and was like, basically like, Mum says I have to dance with someone, so I might as well dance with you. And then she was like, fuck you, fuck you. And they had a bit of a spat while they were dancing. And then she stalked off to the bar after telling him off, and he followed behind her like an injured puppy. And bought her a really expensive bottle of wine. And then they got talking about, like, drugs somehow. I can't remember exactly how they got onto this conversation, but they ended up talking about drugs.
They were comparing childhoods.
Oh yeah, they were having a trauma battle. And then
trauma off.
yeah, and then he was like, okay, I'm going to my room. Wait 10 minutes and follow me. And then like 6 minutes later, Anessa walked across the room, dramatically flicked her hair and stuck her butt out, and then left the room and followed, and then told the guard she was going up to see Trafalgar. And then they had another fight in the room because he did have the drugs, and she was not happy that he had the drugs within arm's length, because she was worried that when we left he was gonna, you know, go back up, relapse and go back on the druggies.
Drugs.
So she, for some reason, banished his entire chest into the ethereal plane, which was a bit unfair because it has more than just drugs in, but here we go. That's now in the ethereal plane. And then she stalked off and left him in his bedroom and came back downstairs. And at that point, I believe Esatari is still having a lovely time dancing with many people. Lycoris was drinking and sulking at the bar because the trapper wasn't talking to her. And then Brewin went to try and stir shit up with the trapper and wind him up.
Please, I wasn't stirring.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't. If anything, I was being the Doctor. I was being the
He was
Doctor
giving everyone advice. Yeah.
I was being the Doctor Goodfields that everyone needed. Okay.
And then
he definitely was enjoying it.
Spoke to Mr. Ross.
Yeah.
him to feel like he wanted to have a drink rather than sit there and just be miserable because it was a party.
Yeah.
Then you felt awkward because you so happened to be at the bar, didn't want to talk to him.
And then some
Then
random dude
you were
came over.
dancing. Yeah.
I think
Characters
it's called
are
Arcturus or something.
Arcturus.
Yes.
Yeah, he came over and he was like, when you all walked in, I definitely looked at you instead of Esatari, and she was a bit like, did you? And then we started talking about Brewin, and he made a joke about
Line.
Brewin being an escort, and that really tickled her. And that tickled in life Rachel for about 15 minutes. So
Yes.
I remember that.
I think then
Uh.
then Brewin was very much like, is it the second dance or are they having a third dance? And then the trapper started like cartoon fucking steam coming out of ears, and then he interrupted her. No, she walked towards the bar with Pokemon Man, because I keep thinking of Pokemon Arceus for some reason.
That's good.
Yeah, but he walked towards the bar and he was basically talking to her about stuff, and then the trapper came and interrupted, and they went to dance, and then Anessa, I think, came back in the room whilst that was going on, and Brewin was then giving Anessa a pep talk. And then the trapper and Lycoris were dancing, but Lycoris was having a meltdown. But luckily, she still had Esatari in her head, so Esatari was dancing with people, but basically ignoring them and using them as basically like an object to hang off of.
Yeah.
Look past.
I do love that every
Cinema
person
frame.
you talked to is like, so what do you think about my conid sentience? And
Yeah.
what do you think about bushes
And she
and
kept bringing up
rosebuds?
the fucking the mole,
Pleasant conversation with the mole.
having a conversation
Yeah.
with moles. And then the trapper and Lycoris danced for 2 dances, and then Esatari was getting really sick of the trapper's shit, so she left Lycoris's head and went into the trapper's head and was basically like, bitch, Lycoris has been in the exact same space as you, and so is Brewin with missing memories, and they ain't being little bitches about it, so give them some fucking credit and stop being so moody.
But she was a lot more delicate with it.
Yeah, she was obviously, of course she is, she's Esatari. She was so kind and calm
She's
about it.
paraphrasing.
Yeah, I'm recapping as Lycoris, so
You're
you know, I'm
paraphrasing?
just speaking how I say it.
Paraphrasing.
Power phrase.
Power.
And then after that, I think the music was coming to an end, and they had to make a choice about whether they were going to do a third dance or not. And then Lycoris froze and didn't know what to do, and that's kind of where we ended it, because we were all falling asleep in real life because it was like 2:30 a.m.
I know.
Yeah.
We started
That's
at
what
like
I was thinking.
10, maybe 11. It's great.
No, we started at 8.
Oh,
Yeah,
was
we
it?
started
Oh,
at
hell yeah.
We started at 8 p.m. and then we ate around 10ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, the banquet had a slight kind of a
It had
deviation.
a mighty feast.
It was a mighty feast.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so good.
That was all of it that I can remember.
Yeah, plus Brewin kind of did a thing after being approached by the woman as well as Keys, who was very keen. Then Brewin went to you, Lycoris, and stated, I may have someone who knows me as Cliff, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, this could or could not be a trap.
And Lycoris was not very helpful because Lycoris was sulking at the time.
Yep.
It's pretty much just what Lycoris's day was like, to be honest, until they started dancing.
Yep, Sulk Central.
She was having a big old sulky sulk.
So, obviously, get your lovely inspiration dice, because given everyone was drunk, I'm not going to lie, I don't remember half of that, but I know it's true. So, congrats on that. If you have it, give it. If you have it and everyone else has it, then you better use it before the game ends. Woo!
I was messaging my dad. Did you mention that how probably everyone thinks that Anessa and Trafalgar
Oh
are sleeping
god,
together?
yeah, I forgot about that because Anessa was not so subtle when she left the room, and to give him credit, Trafalgar was really, really fucking clear. He was like, wait 10 minutes and then sneak out of the room. She waited like 6 minutes and literally sort of flounced out the room with
She
her.
was having a very good night, you know.
And then, yeah, so 100% people were looking like, this is a bit sussy. And Trafalgar's mum definitely looked as well, because we asked if Trafalgar's mum noticed, and Trafalgar's mum noticed.
It was funny.
So that, yeah, when she came back in the room, I think people also noticed when she came back in the room. So
Yeah, we
She was
said
looking
that
hot and
people
bothered
people
too.
could see that I wasn't happy.
yeah, and, oh yeah, we said
Dis-
all the men,
disappointed.
Flustered.
yeah, all the men thought, oh, she's been laid, and all the women looked at her and went, oh, she's
Oh,
mad.
she's mad.
Bit hungry.
Yeah, I forgot that bit. It was
Yeah.
like a universal. The women saw it and they were like, oh,
Oh no.
and all the men were like, yeah,
Yeah,
get
go
it.
on, lad.
Exactly.
Go on, lads.
Clear mood of
That is-
the whole cinema.
And that
Yeah.
is actually where we ended it.
Yes.
Just basically on a cliffhanger. Are people going to say anything about
Dun dun
Estatari
dun.
and Trafalgar? What exactly are the Trapper and Lycoris going to do? Is Brewen going to get laid or murdered? And what's the total tally of proposals for Estatari? Because when we last checked in, it was 7.
With Bruin, I feel like laid or murdered is very much a coin flip
You know, I like it.
because, well, just him in general, really. So, a bit of a. Sorry, I'm just readjusting myself in my chair so I'm not sitting like a goblin. So, I have nothing map-wise prepared because obviously we did all that and then my work week became fucking chaos, as I'm pretty sure Connor and Rachel, because I had to quit the last 2 sessions, can attest to. Legit, I don't know what the fuck this week was. It has just been a fucking nightmare. Anyway, it's not important. Long story short, I haven't had time to tinker. So we're just going to use the map we have here and Theatre of the Mind with quite a lot of it. That's what we were doing on Saturday anyway, so we'll continue from where we were with that mindset. So, everybody give me a d20 and we'll see who is the person we start with. Because a lot of this is chaos.
You're welcome.
Oh, the bell of the ball. Oh, I thought you had a 19 from earlier.
So, it would have been the escalators then. It would have been 2, 9, 12, 19, 16.
So now it's Brewen, Anessa, Estatari, Lycoris.
Yes.
I mean, that's how you would do it a TV show as well. You wouldn't
Yeah, it's
start
the,
with a
the most dramatic
cliffhanger.
section.
Make
of the
everyone
moment, yeah.
wait a good, like...
It's just like, but
35
what
minutes.
happened? So, firstly, Bruin. You, of course, can... With everything else that's going on, I'd say in the time frame for you, at the minute, like Chorus and the Trapper are just... they're just about to talk. They're currently separated, and there's a whole big thing. You feel like Estari's probably trying to interfere a little bit, because she has been fully like absent-minded. You can see it in her eyes this entire time that she's absolutely talking to everyone in their minds.
Aid, not interfere.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Aid for me, okay. Lycoris doesn't see it as interfering. Lycoris sees it as life-saving.
Black.
Yeah, not yours. Everyone else is in the room. So, sorry, I'm just changing a thing real quick.
Change as many things as you like.
Okay, everyone's HP becomes 0 and you will die.
No, not like that.
Okay, that's an over-exaggeration.
It's an abuse of power! You can see Anessa is currently fully, like, burying this big bottle of booze
Yeah.
into herself. Big glass of it ready at her side, just downing it at the bar. Asatari, of course, still dancing with a suitor that is very much new to you, the number of which you could not even begin to count. She is, of course, being fair and kind, but those of them that think they have a chance that are a bit aggressive meet the swift end of a kicking out by Kingsley. But what do you want to do? You can see from here your little fling, the one who gave you the key, She's currently entertaining herself, dancing with a stranger or two. But what do you want to do?
That's a good point, actually. Might go fix myself another drink.
Hmm.
Yeah, fix myself another drink, and I might just see what other points of interest there are around the place.
So, looking around the room, your eyes scan. Make a perception check.
Right?
Ooh.
Hey-o.
So, firstly, you can see that the mother of the house, her eyes are like scanning across the room, and you see that they settle on Anessa, who's fully like slightly arched back. Clearly, she's drinking to forget something at this point. You can easily see the problem there, as you see Vlad in the middle is currently hand in hand with a similar aged young girl. They're not dancing anymore, they're currently just talking, it seems. People are like dancing around them, avoiding them. And as your eyes scan around again, of course, at this moment, the trapper is still kind of like taking a little swig of a drink, and he seems to be reacting to something, but looking generally around him, there's nothing going on, so you assume possibly an Esatari. Um, and of course, other than that, you see Damark, besides the mother at the house. He's a strange one. You've not had a chance to really talk to him, but he hasn't left his mother's side, at least in this room anyway, since you guys have been here. He's constantly been at her side. Every now and again you would see his head turn just slightly to talk to her, but his attention is never away from the people in the room. His eyes will never deviate from the points of exit in the room, or people of interest. As your eyes look at him, you see his snap to you, and there's this almost like a sensation of eyes in the back of your head, and you feel this strange tingle along your back for a moment as you meet eyes. And he just stares for a moment before his eyes lock onto someone else in the room. As you kind of turn to look to where he's looking, he's currently looking at his brother, Kingsley. And then his eyes scan again, seemingly looking for another who does not seem to be in this room. After that, you see his eyes return to just scanning absent-mindedly as he continues talking in gentle tone to his mother. What do you want to do?
Before his eyes sort of like deviated after looking at me, do I know knowingly that he is genuinely looking at me?
Oh yeah, fully. Like, as your eyes clasp onto his clasp onto yours as well, and there is that moment where you stare at each other, and you've been
As he does that, I'll sort of like raise a glass and sort of like give him a bit of a smile.
as you do that, he does a small nod. He, with middle finger, pointer, and thumb, picks up a small little glass, raises it a couple of inches off the table, and then places it back down. And then his eyes scan the room again.
At this point, I can take that to mean a multitude of things, considering the little bits of information I know is that pretty much he is head of the merchant, or more or less, he's the merchant guild of his family on his end, isn't he?
He is the mercantile controller. Anything that is to do with importing, exporting, or general news sale goes through him in place of his mother.
Yeah,
It's
which I thought as much.
he's one of the higher reasons why his family has as much money as they do. Even then, they are still not considered incredibly wealthy. They're more like, they are upper class, but they're not like nobility. They haven't quite reached that level because they're not of a noble family. They've just made their wealth.
Yeah. Yeah, and mainly knowing is because he was my family's competition to a degree.
Indeed.
Yeah, so not sure whether that smile is more or less a very fake, polite smile.
Oh, he didn't smile at all. He just looked, raised a glass.
Well, that's pretty much the same child of thought then. Not sure if it's just being polite for the sake of being polite and raising a glass, or whether that's just the low key. Yeah. So that one I might just continue to nurse me drink and just look for more interesting things of interest, and also partly see how Anessa's doing on her front of just not only just herself burying drinks, just making sure she doesn't go and do anything too crazy.
Okay. So, as you wander over toward her, Anessa, what are you doing at this moment?
Staring at the big picture of whatever alcohol this is. Taking little drinks every now and then. And doing little sighs.
And
Are they really little size, or are they just
Ugh!
Yeah,
But
not
you already came to speak to me about what happened as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
I can't remember how that ended.
I'm not gonna lie, but that ended up with me giving you some form of advice about stuff.
Yeah.
I just did not know how you took it because, well, yeah.
I think it went
You didn't exactly.
somewhere in the lines of, basically don't go hard on him, he's trying to change. And he hasn't actually had his drugs in a while. Something along like that.
Yeah, okay, that sounds about right.
And I'm pretty sure...
I think I explained why... I'd taken them. So what, anyway?
Which was what for the audience and those of us who have partially forgotten? Not me, of course.
Well, he'd mentioned that he still had the soap, and he said that he was trying to find out, like research it, find out something about it. I can't remember exactly what his wording was. I remember being like, "You still have it." And obviously, with Anessa's background, she'll have heard things like that many a time. Of I was just keeping it. I was just keeping it as a reminder. You know, it's my last. Like the whole thing. I've quit smoking, but I have a cigarette still there, just to remind me of the temptation that I once had. And then, of course, he smoked that cigarette and go back down the spiral again. That kind of thing. So that was the kind of reason why, because she was absolutely not convinced, given her past, that he was not gonna. That he was gonna take it again and stuff. Even though, like, they know where it came from and everything now, but it's like very much rooted in all of that, which she kind of tried to get across when Brian was talking to her.
Yeah.
I don't know how well she got it across, though. I can't remember.
Well,
really
he's a
memory.
dick. And if he comes back down here, I'm gonna kick him at it.
I remember her being like, "You're being very condescending."
That's pretty much
I
just
don't remember the specifics of what was said.
pretty much just Trafalgar, really.
Just Trafalgar, what to do?
But yeah, that. So what next, Connor? What do you talk to her about now that she is currently wallowing?
Tell me
Sort
off.
sort of look to her, and I'm just gonna say,
Oh no. She
so
already cleared that up. She was like, "Is that my husband?"
that's all well and good, but what exactly are you going to be doing with the rest of your nights at a place that will probably never really get around to really being in a place like this ever again? Unless, well, Lady Dayrite decides to host more, but I believe after this we're probably going back out on the open road, so if I were you, I'd probably think about making the most of, well, what you currently got in front of you.
Well, this is what I've got in front of me right now, and I believe I am quite making the most of it. And I'm just like smiling to myself, having my little drink.
Well, the question is, are you ready to drink for the reasons of having fun drinking, or are you just going to keep wallowing over the things that have been said and done already?
I'm having so much fun. I enjoy my own company. Would be nice to have other company, but
I'm just gonna.
beggars can't be choosers, and I'm very much a beggar in this situation.
Can I do an insight? Well, do I need to do an insight check on to know for a fact that's a lie or not?
Well, I'll let you two dish that up. So, Chloe, if you are attempting to hide the underlying intentions, send to me specifically a deception check, or if it's fully truth, send me a persuasion check. And Connor, insight.
Roger.
About whether she's happy or not.
Oh, Jesus, well, good luck.
No, never mind.
Fucking good luck.
Not even.
Yeah, Connor, you know that earlier statement, should I even bother? No, you really shouldn't.
Connor he sees into your soul. You don't
He
even
sees
it's
all.
beyond the words.
He sees into your soul and he sees your mother?
Oh.
Oh my god! Oh, fuck! Shit.
That was just to you.
Yeah.
And that one.
No.
No.
That would be
She
beautiful,
also got a nat 20.
Oh shit!
So
But my plus, I've only got
Yeah.
plus 7, whereas you've got plus 10.
yeah.
27? Pathetic.
Jesus Christ, guys.
Oh,
Sort of, hold on.
trying really hard.
Literally not counting the recap roll and the who goes first roll, that's a minimum of 20 with every roll so far. 2 of the 3 are 20s. Jesus.
Oh my god.
So firstly, since it's 20 versus 20, we are going to be what number is bigger, which is Connor's. Also, that is our first natural 30 in the entire game.
And it's on this.
And it's on this.
Is Anessa sad or not?
Well, Chloe, spill your soul. It's only fair.
Ugh. Well,
Wow.
she feels very overwhelmed because even though she has bought herself some nice things with the money that she acquired, she still feels like she's very much out of her depth in this situation because it's very fancy, and she feels like in her mind she has done what is correct, but now she's kind of second guessing, like what if I've just driven a wider wedge there, and maybe he's not going to be like my family and take all this stuff again, but I can't chance it. What would I do? How would I feel if he did go back to it, and then it'd be disastrous and all this, and she's weighing that up, Also, Vlad's growing up and he's dancing with someone who doesn't know how to feel about it. And then everyone else is just kind of gone, and she's in the midst of, she's pretty much over everything happening with Esatari, but the twinge is still there. It's still like, oh yeah, it's a bit tender seeing all these suitors flocking to her, and yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for her. And also, she was a bit pissed at Brewin because he was like talking down to her before.
Is she bothered that she hasn't had any suitors?
Yes.
Oh.
Deep
Trafalgar,
down,
she had
deep down, she is.
There's no way she considers Trafalgar as a legitimate person, though. That was almost like a fucking. He was using her to get out of an awkward situation. It wasn't even an invitation for her. It was for him.
He
In a-
chose
Good
her
point.
over me.
I know why I was going to that room.
In a subtle,
Why did Trafalgar take me?
in a subtle way as well, just as a note, you guys do know that, and correct me if I'm wrong here with my terminology, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm always shit. He is essentially asexual, or at least just not interested in those general things by one reason
yes,
or another.
He was.
Yeah, but does everyone else know that? Like,
It's
how old
we
was he when he
know
left here? Yeah, we knew, but
Yeah, he's
like
told us
everyone
before,
else at the
hasn't he?
party.
Mm-hmm.
But why did he take? I can't remember now. What was his motive?
I think he was trying to placate you, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
you kept nagging him.
You kept, yeah, you basically became Esatari 2.0 and you were being a nag and he had to
I
prove
I
you
wasn't
wrong.
nagging him before that though. I was nagging him when we got there.
No, you were like,
No,
come on,
you
Oh,
you
no,
know,
I
nagging him
remember.
you
before.
might as well give me the drugs then, I'll smoke them all.
Yes, I was like, oh well, let's go try some then. But he
Yeah.
was. Thing is, right? Thing that triggered the whole thing with her past was because he was quite willing for me to try them. Which suggests to me that even though he said later on that they were very dangerous and all that, he wouldn't do it because it's like someone's dead body or whatever. Like he was still fine for me to have them.
I love that you see it that
But
way.
he
But
might have had him.
he saw it as like he was trying to like.
Get you to shut up.
Yeah, I thought he was almost like he was trying to prove a point that you wouldn't do it. So
Yeah,
he was
maybe
just
so.
goading you on for fun,
Yeah.
but you saw it the opposite way.
Yeah, maybe so.
Man, humans are complex, huh?
Yup.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Well, I'm not
You
human.
very much strong-armed him
Aranea,
into it,
bitch.
and now you're like, I don't know why he went.
Why would he do such a thing? I am shocked and appalled.
Shocked and appalled.
Really? Surely does Trafalgar's mum know that he's asexual?
How old was he when he left?
We don't know any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
We don't know
Oh,
what
well.
his relationship with his mum was like. We just know, like, he said it wasn't good.
Yep.
But he
Oh,
also
no.
admitted that he may have seen it in worse. He
In a worse
might
light
have
than
seen
what
it
it was.
worse light than it actually was.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to out him to his mum if she questions me and be like, oh, well, you know he's asexual. And she's like, what?
You're like, I
What?
thought you know have sex when he was heavily drugged up.
It's
Yeah.
like it's pretty much almost like the whole dying thing all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, yeah.
The only time that he has ever acted averse to the nature that he was born with is during his period with soap. So whatever the origin of him getting to there is the real problem in his life.
Mm.
Because as you all can tell, his relationship with his brothers and his mother is not as bad as he had been led to believe.
No,
It's
which is
like
why I
fuck
thought
with
that we
them.
were akin. And that's another reason why she was very upset. Because she was like, why did I think we were alike and we're not? It felt
You
like
can-
it's like when that rich kid is like, "Oh, I'm so poor," and you go and you're like, "Oh, me too," and you're like confiding in them stuff, being like, "Well, I did," and you're telling them stuff that like is kind of embarrassing for you, but you're like, "Oh, well, they're poor too, so you understand." And then you go to their house and you're like, "You're not fucking poor. What the fuck are you on about?"
Yeah.
It's kind of like I bore my soul to you about all this stuff.
I mean,
and
you
it's
bore
not
it
even
to
that
me,
bad.
and I ended up being rich too, so it's probably not a great track
Yeah,
record
but
for you
She
at
has
this
a
point, really.
better relationship with you than Trafalgar. She was already on tenterhooks with
It's because I'm
And,
so
and you have
likeable.
and you have a worse relationship with your family than Trafalgar.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. Yeah, that's true. Your
I'm trying.
situation was its own kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Whereas Trafalgar's, you know, he was welcomed home with open arms. So
Yeah, my mum called me a raging bitch when I met up with her, so
yeah,
quite
that's
rightly,
fine.
but
But again, it's one of those other things that is probably very toxic about her, because she gets mad when she should be like happy that Trafalgar is all good with his family, but she's not because she's bitter. She's a bitter little bitch.
She's going through a rough time. We'll give her grace.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is everything
So
Fair enough.
for Brewin.
There's a lot of
beautiful.
feelings brewing.
It's a lot.
Needless to say, she is incredibly complicated right now, but she could use a friend.
Oh,
Fair
That's
enough.
cute.
Bruin's just gonna sort of look to her. Do I know, to my knowledge, is there like a outside? Is there like a balcony looking to outside which connects to this room?
Not
Or
this room, or at least not one you've been privy to. But you can easily walk towards the bedrooms where you guys were staying, where you know there is a balcony.
fair enough. If that's the case, then I'll just stay in the room where we currently are. But I will probably just sit next to her and give her a bit of an eyebrow and just look to her and just say, "Does another cup come with that, or am I going to have to pour myself a drink from that?" And I up the bottle that she's currently cradling.
I'm just gonna pause and then reach across the bar and get him a glass. Pour one out.
Madam, I can just get you the... Never mind, you look like...
I can do it myself.
Okay.
I'm a strong, independent woman.
He kind of looks you up and down with that sort of face of like, yeah, yeah, of course.
Of course, honey.
There is a little bit of pity behind it.
Why is
I
everyone
bet
looking
that
at me like
helps.
that? She looks like she wants to throw the glass at his head, but she doesn't. She hands it to Brewin and she pours out some of the mystery concoction.
But she hasn't.
She really wanted
Lycoris
to
was
know.
there. Lycoris would have praised you for that. Just saying.
What, for chucking it?
No, for preventing yourself from chucking it, because she would have been exactly the same.
Thank you.
As
Like
you
cookie.
as you pass the glass over, start pouring for Brewin. The pair of you take the 2 seats at the bar. There is pretty much an extended 10-foot table that has been put on either side to act as the bar, and there are a couple of other little seats you can sit on. But as you two take the 2 seats by the bar, start taking little swigs of drink for a moment. The place still very much as active as when you came here, though everything kind of feels a little bit quieter now. What do the two of you say?
I want to sit in silence for a little bit and then
That's fine.
give Brewin a little bit of side eye and be like, so you're an Asa man, it's like an angel, right?
Yeah.
So if you're an angel, can you tell if people are good or bad?
I'm just gonna give her a slight raised eyebrow look, and a bit of a soured look as I got the drink to my lips. I'm gonna finish the drink to my lips, and I'm just gonna look to you, and I'm just gonna say, "What books have you been reading?"
Mostly scrolls.
You do know majority of the scrolls that are probably written about ASMR and comparing them to angels are probably by people who are, well, fanatics.
Oh, am I being racist? I'm sorry.
I said fanatics, meaning people who do everything in their power to worship and compare ASMRs to angels because it's the only, well, in their mind, it's the only explanation of why we as a race exist, because we're angels.
So are you not like angels?
No, well, ASMR in general, they're not angels, but I sort of lean in and just say, well, for my case, it's complicated, but ASMRs in general, no. It's like saying, I sort of like lean back in my seat a little. And I feel at this point the alcohol is slightly getting to me, but I sort of snap back and I'm just gonna say, it's like saying that a tabaxi is a cat when in fact they're actually a tabaxi, and the whole calling them cats is not exactly right.
Oh, so I was racist.
I wouldn't say you're being racist, just not really accurate. Because, well, as I said, they're two different things.
But you're good at reading people.
Uh, what can I say? It comes through a life of being exposed to people against my will, being given a pseudo good mentor to, well, give me a good judge of character, and, well, I suppose being around you guys to a degree has been somewhat of positive, a positive thing.
And what a positive thing. Well, can you tell me about her? And I'll point to the girl that Vlad's with. What are her intentions?
I sort of look and I sort of look back to her and I just say, "You do know that it's a feeling and it's not exactly magic. I can't read the minds of people."
Well, then
And
what's your feeling?
that's when she says it like that. Everyone knows for fact. For fuck's sake, I've trapped myself in this one. I sort of look on. What am I seeing interaction wisely between the two?
Well, I feel like I owe you one here, considering you've got an insight of 30. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a freebie here. Looking at the pair of them, there's something that you can see with your inherent capability of reading people that she in this state can't. And to be fair, most of your party probably wouldn't see. What everyone else sees from the outside is two young kids stood in the middle of a dance floor, currently just talking away. Before there was hand holding, but they were also dancing. What you see between the two now is just two young kids talking away from two very different worlds. And at some point it seems to have been made evident as the body language between the two is less in the romantic sense, and there's more of a kinship. There's a gentle friendship there. You with your experience, you believe that because of the difference between them and because of the engagements that both of them have, even if there were to be something there, they couldn't follow through. There's two worlds that could not conjoin.
Oh
Gonna say that doesn't seem better.
no! I wish I didn't know.
He hasn't told you yet. This is him
I
live.
know. I know I'm talking about me.
I sort of look onwards and then I just sort of look back and I just say, well, if you well and truly feel that you need to know, what I well and truly see is two children, different families, different growing up, different environments. But, oddly enough, they're both together. They've both met under some weird fate or circumstance, one after or another. But what I see is nothing more than just purely two children actually having a grown-up conversation and actually being given a chance to be kids, well, actually growing up in a sense by actually conversing and actually being both free in this very moment. It's the true and happy essence of what freedom well and truly should be. Nothing pure, nothing impure, pretty much everything in between. The purest state of
She's
freedom.
having a good time, and she's out. She's okay. And then I want to
But
look around the rest of the ballroom.
I sort of look as you go to, before you look around, I just say, just to give you that little bit of clarity, looking at the both of them, Vlad, well, from what you've told me and from what I've seen of him, is a smart lad, and most girls in nobility forms of state are pretty much schooled, pretty much till their fingers bleed on, well, social politics, so they both know this is just a nice fun time and nothing will probably blossom out of this, but the experience that they've gained from each other dancing in a place like this, well, will help them blossom into, well, hopefully functioning adults, and they'll make the right choices maybe, but that's what you can hope for.
No.
I sort of look
What is
to
it
you
I
and
can
I
help
just
with?
say, any better, or is there anything else that you're wanting me to check in, wanting me to maybe magically? Now, as I say magically, I sort of like put my fingers out and sort of like shimmy them up and down on all four and all 5 fingers on each hand.
No, thank you. Just wanted to make sure that you were safe and happy.
Yeah.
You just look happy. And
Compared
that's when I
to
look
everywhere
around the
else
rest of the
you've been.
ballroom, and I want to cast my eyes over where Asatari is dancing and be like, she looks happy too.
Oh, yeah. Well, considering she's in her element of being pretty much social as a butterfly can be, and well, from what I'm seeing, there's a few uncomfortable moments where she's getting the occasional dog of a guy talking to her and trying to, well, get her hand in marriage and welcome her to the royal fold. She seems to be in her element, more or less.
And you say about the dog of a guy going over, Anessa's hand tightens on the glass and loosens. Yes,
But as
very
you
much
know,
in her element, I think.
by now, she knows how to deal with those sort of guys, and well,
She
I
does.
don't
Yeah,
really
she
don't
can
think
hold her
those are
own.
the type. Plus,
No, and I know
from
she won't. There won't be a scene caused here, even by the worst types of man.
plus from many of the walkings away that I've seen, she's probably talking to people about moles again.
Yeah, she does like to talk about the moles. And I'm just gonna push myself up off at the bar in a very decisive motion and put my drink down. Right. That's enough of that. Care for a dance?
I sort of partly drink my drink as before you say that, and as you say that, I'm just gonna drink it and then just sort of like clear my throat because it's just caught me off guard, and I'm just gonna look upon you and just
You wanna
say,
what?
I'm
Oh,
just
not
gonna
like
say,
that. You should dance with someone.
I sort of look and I just say, is the Anessa of the magical fine arts variety and the pretty much the worshipper of the grand wizard daddy that is known as 1 second names
Jonathan.
wizardry daddies known as Jonathan asking me, Brewin, but a common man to dance.
Oh, well, that's where you're wrong. You're not a common man, are you?
Don't flatter yourself, but yes, he is. Let's go. And I down a drink. And I'll point to the barkeep person and just be like, don't give that away.
I sort of
To
like
the big bottle. Keep it behind. I'll come back for it later.
I sort of look up on this and just look to barkeep and just say, yes, what she says, and puff my chest out, get my arm out, sort of like pop my arm out to offer her my arm and say, well, shall we?
We shall.
Okay.
But dance, I'm not going to dance Dave Ladd. I don't want to put him off his little conversation with his new friend. Might dance a little bit near like Chorus if she's dancing.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
thought
just
we were
have a
stood
bit of-
still.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're stood still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
well, what point you're up to?
So.
Oh, we'll do a little dance.
Yeah, we did 2 dances, and then I don't know when this conversation's taking place. I
It's
don't know.
just before
Yeah.
you and
Well, it started before.
Arcturus. Yeah. So.
Well, I'm going to use this time to go to the toilet.
Okay.
So I haven't even started dancing with the trapper yet.
No.
Oh.
So. Esatari. Now that those two have had a little soiree, what would you like to be doing? As you can see across the room, the trapper is slowly come to his feet. He's like pacing just a little bit after you give him a few words of encouragement, and he's just like thinking to himself,
They were already dancing when I had a go at him.
I am really trying to relive that fucking session. Like, my brain is on fire.
They'd already started dancing. And were being well awkward about it. So yeah, I was giving him my lecture while he was
Okay.
they were attempting to dance.
Then that's even better. So as it comes around to your turn, those two are now just talking, blah 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 blah, dance, and then it's just like, okay. As they are hitting the dance floor and beginning, first song going. What are you doing? Do you attempt to get a little bit closer and watch the action, or do you go on the
If
outskirts?
it's there after my lecture, I'm like fighting the urge to keep intervening. I'm not. She's the So she's gonna try and have a look around for like someone else to meddle with to distract her. I mean help.
Aid, yes.
So like anyone else from our party, like including Vlad, Ishgari, everyone like is looking for anyone who's not looking like they're having a good time, because she's trying to make Lycoris and the Trapper have a good time. She's now going to try and make someone else have a good time.
As you're looking around, like, you can't see Ishkari anywhere. You don't think he came, or if he is here with you, he's taken his time to enter. The others are all dancing now, like, between themselves. It's very weird to see. Like, they are not very big picture, just do something for the fun of it people. They're usually running for their lives. And as you look around with that kind of stress of like, oh god, is there someone? I need to... You feel a gentle hand on your shoulder, and as you turn, a slight raised eyebrow, you see the beloved Kialia. She's got a very elegant, long flowing, with not a train exactly, but there is a little bit of extra dress trailing behind her. A very much like sky blue dress with these little silver accents all across it, and a very much gentle V, not enough that it fully exposes anything, but enough that you know it's there. She looks you over with a gentle smile, and she turns to Kingsley, gives a snap of the fingers and points him away. He starts walking off with a low bow of like, gotcha. Are you okay, darling? You appear a little dishevelled.
Oh dear. No, I'm fine. I've just been dancing a lot, bit tired.
As you say that,
Anyway.
immediately another man's already walking over, and she turns, looks at him. Darling, do you know who I am? Yeah, Kialu, and you're coming over here, why? Do you require the backhand of me or my husband? And the man's just like, I'm gonna go to the bar. As you should. Anyway, where were we? And if you do see any more, let me know. I am fully on point for hitting someone right now myself. Oh, the number of men here. Anyway.
Oh, thank you very much. That seems a little an over-the-top reaction, but
Oh, no, darling, you need to set the ground rules here. Even a married woman such as I happens to get the odd grimace looking at some of them. You need to set your foot down.
well, thank you. It's very much appreciated in this moment, I will admit.
She nods with a little bit of a smile. Now, what's going on? I see you're not particularly enjoying the event.
Oh no, I've been having a lovely time. I just one of my friends is just going through a difficult time, and I've just been a bit concerned about her. But other than that, it's been wonderful. I've never been to any kind of event like this before.
You haven't?
I've done
Darling.
dances, but nothing like this.
Well, this is hardly one of the better ones. It's roughly middling, maybe. We'll have to absolutely invite you to the chateau someday. You will love it.
Absolutely magical, and I'm so appreciative for your husband's family to have invited us to it.
Oh, darling, I meant my chateau. But, well, I mean, you've done a lot for the younger brother. And, to be quite frank, she leans in a little bit. We heard rumours in Gustodon about supposed adventurers saving the day. Of course, the rumours were a lie of who did it. Me and Kingsley, of course, know the real victors in that manner, but we'll keep quiet. She then leans back away again. But I just figured I would let you know that you are all graceful.
I am back.
Hello, back. And you are trusted and always welcome in our home.
And so I just gives a little bit of a pause and a health tilt here, thinking that's maybe not the best decision. Well, I'm very glad you feel that way about us as a group.
Well, don't worry, I'm not a fool. I can see that there's a little bit of indecorum here and there, but I'm not exactly from a house where that's all of the task. I was an adventurer before all of the gowns and fun
Until I took an
bits.
arrow to the knee.
But, like me, you have that air about you. You belong in places like this.
Well, I don't know about that, but
My
I'm
my
certainly glad
dear,
to experience it.
not counting the amount of men that are pouncing on you like a predator, you look wonderful. Just look at yourself. And the last time I saw you, I could have sworn there was a merry band of men, bandits in particular, but we won't discount those, that were fawning all over you. Now, it takes a degree of skill to do that without trying.
I just think sometimes people haven't experienced enough kindness in their life and they react positively towards it.
Mm. That's
Just
something...
because we might be enemies in one battle doesn't mean we can't be friends in another.
She nods, raises her glass to that. A very wonderful sentiment that not many happen to follow anymore.
Speaking of which, I did notice another of your brothers-in-laws is here tonight. That quite surprised me. I don't remember his name.
Damark.
Damark. Wait,
Yeah.
is that the artist?
No. Actually, hold on, just in case I'm doing the name wrong.
You did say he was there, right?
Oh, yeah, Damark.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'd say he was
Yeah, the artist is there too. Speaking of, let me
because
put
he had a particular magical collar, and it was under assumption he was under house arrest.
Yeah, baby. Bert is the brother with the collar. Damok is the one at the top half of the table.
I mean, in the naming scheme, he really did get kind of ostracized.
Yeah. Yes, he. Well, the funny thing is, he's probably more the black sheep than Trafalgar ever was. But, you know, as times do go. But Damok, one of the older brothers, he's okay. He's not a good man by any standards. He's very abrasive. He's very one note, and honestly, I would rather never have a conversation with him ever again than have a conversation with, let's say, his mother. I love her to bits, but if one equaled the other, then honestly, I'd take that deal. But he does good for the family, so they keep him.
Despite the time we've spent here so far, I'm assuming we have not spoken to him.
Oh no, not as of yet, anyway.
Yep. So no, we have skipped some time.
Well,
but to be doting on his family. I'm glad that everyone seems happy to have Trafalgar back.
At the very least, I know Kingsley is. And his mother, of course. From the last couple of days of speaking with her, at the very least, her demeanour it's become slightly brighter for what little you can see of it. She's very much a stoic woman, so it makes sense, but there has been a good impact here. And again, it's not my place to say it, but thank you all for looking after him. He's not, well, he's my half, but he's not really my family, but it is good to see his family, and obviously my husband, happy with him here. Oh no, Chloe's computer restarted.
Yep.
So I'll just nod and then. Did he ever return to the room after his escapades upstairs?
He hasn't returned back yet.
She tired him out.
She traumatized him.
So, now that all of the gentle talk is out of the way, let's do a bit of pillow talk. Who do you fancy here?
Well, interesting question. You have to. I'm not looking for anything serious, so it's. You're my end goal.
Thanks.
The end boss.
I shall conquer.
What did I miss?
Nothing.
Oh god, Chloe's back as well.
You're not there, shut up, shh!
I just want to know.
So, what do you actually say?
I've distracted myself.
Someone propositioned you?
Hopefully, Trafalgar's sister-in-law. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, this is a hot
Invite you
one.
back for a threesome. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey.
Nice.
That'd be an awkward threesome. Trafalgar comes by in the morning to talk to Kingsley about something, and you answer the door.
That would
Yes.
be hilarious.
Yes,
wearing his nighting gown.
Please run that as an alternate scenario.
It's like a paralogue.
Yeah, when we have eventually gone on our way, I'll come back and visit. And I was just like, yeah, I just popped in to visit, to see your brother and his wife.
Just
I like
how...
the idea that she says, "Who do you fancy?" and Esatari's immediately like, "Other than you."
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, I've got the most beautiful lady in front of me right now.
All the suitors around the edges just like, oh my god. I've been back at the wrong tree this whole time.
Let's be honest, they're dudes. They'd be like, oh my god, they're gonna kiss.
That's true. Yeah, they'll be like, oh my god, it's for us.
They're sitting by with drinks in their hand, glassed quite heavily, and they're like, under their breath, they're like, yes, yes, mentally, yes, yes.
Like me, whenever I watch a K drama, and I'm like, "Now
Yes.
kiss,
Yes.
now
Now
kiss."
kiss.
Every now and then, just like lean close. They're like,
Bring each other's ears, but it looks far more intimate because that's what they want to see.
yeah.
What does
What
she
is your answer, madam?
Honestly, I mean, like,
That is the beginning of my name. Yes.
I can't say I've got strong feelings for anyone in particular.
Oh, honey, we're not
I've got a
talking about
pen pal back in
feelings.
Glasgow.
I said pillow talk.
Oh, well, there was a time when Anessa and I almost had a thing, but it just didn't work out. It's complicated when it's someone that you're journeying with as well.
Her eyes slowly drift toward Kingsley.
Yes, I don't know how it was for you. Perhaps you knew from day one that's what you wanted. Maybe not. I'd
Oh.
love to hear that story.
Oh, well, I'll do that real quick for you. I hated his guts. And then I married him anyway.
Did you
well,
still hate him?
I suppose that is how many a great love story starts.
Well,
But
Eh.
hopefully not finishes.
well, enemies to lovers as it is, but although it's
Love it.
it's more, I suppose, distant partners adventuring. You have one too many drinks. It kind of just goes from there. Your family gets introduced to each other, and then you're just embroiled in it.
I feel like it would make a great book.
She does kind of like lower her eyebrow at that, but then raises it like,
Alternate profit line.
Well,
Like I said, I've met several people on my journeys that have sparked my interest. It really was the most charming guard that I ran into the other day. Just not seen him since. I heard he might be here, but it's just been so busy. I just not had the chance to look.
Couldn't say I really paid too much attention to the guards' names. They mostly stay focused on the task and only really intervene if physical attacks happen. They do their job very well, now that I think about it.
Just showed such care for, the plant life on this property. I wasn't expecting it, and I was just so taken by it. You just don't meet many men who really care about what matters.
Ugh.
Like the
Her eyes roll and she again looks at Kingsley.
The moles.
Wait, did you say about the moles?
Yeah, I found it quite a good screening process for the men here.
Oh, darling. Not a single one of them who care about nature, and if they say they do, they're lying.
But that's why I was so startled to meet someone who did.
Oh no!
No, Lygars! No!
Well, if it's a guard, and it's a guard that happens to actually care unprovoked about nature, maybe it's one of the common born that were brought here.
suppose that would make sense. So is there really no kind of... sorry, I don't actually know your background. You've married Kingsley, so I assume you have had some kind of noble upbringing. I don't want to assume, sorry.
No, you are unfortunately correct. To a degree, I suppose the easiest way to put it would be I was born into a noble family, but we weren't... She raises a hand just casually to denote the room itself. We weren't really with all this, but we were of noble blood, and then eventually I went adventuring to make more money for us. Met Kingsley, killed a dragon, and now here we are.
Well, yes, so is there no kind of education provided about the living things of nature?
Rarely. We are taught, to some extent, in nobility, how to curtsy and be polite and adhere to all the strict rules and yada yada yada, but mostly there's no room for anything to do with the outside world. We need to be the voice, the face of the world inside. The world outside
Suppose
only
it makes sense.
really applies to those who go there, such as adventurers, which is solely the reason why I am as I am, and why Kingsley is as he is. Because we've tasted both sides now. You're unlikely to find a man that's of noble birth, or even of a higher born status, that would share your values, unless they have a particular penchant for growing some wildlife in their back garden.
Well, I suppose it makes sense. People learn what is important in the lives they lead. And I must make it clear, I have not come here looking for a suitor of any kind. I am here to experience things. That's why I left my village. I wanted to see the world, meet other people, learn things that matter to them. I just do think some kind of appreciation for nature should be included in everyone's upbringing.
She nods. She's kind of like looking away, but not to avoid attention or anything. She's just like thinking, focused for a moment, and then looks back.
She's trying to be a wing woman.
No, we talk about the mole.
You come back, by the way.
Well, after all it provides us, you of course have a point. And unlike other avenues of this world, nature will keep on long, long after we are done with it. So something like a simple kindness should be a given. That much I can quite easily understand. It is a shame that, and then she motions out toward the crowd, this portion of society doesn't have room for those kind of things. Though, saying that, I suppose at least Theron has it right somewhat, living amongst nature and the spirits, being one with it, but also governing in a way that allows for similar systems to work. I don't suppose you've heard much from home as of late?
I met up with my uncle, but he's travelled a lot anyway, so he can't really bring me much news from home. I can't say I left with full blessings from my father.
Well, I can almost guarantee you that despite that, they'll understand when you return home. Have you tried to send any communique? A letter, maybe?
I can't remember.
It's been so long.
I feel like I did send a letter at some point.
Yeah. I know for certain fact at least one.
Yeah, I don't know what I said, who I sent it to, or when it was.
I think you sent it to your dad, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I've just sent the one. I probably should try and contact them more.
Well,
It's just been very busy.
true. Well, I don't quite know what your plans are next as a group, but if you've no immediate plans, I mean, you could always visit home.
Oh, I hadn't actually considered that.
You have an airship now, right?
It's true. Like I said, I left to see the world, and quite frankly, I'm worried if I go home, I won't get the opportunity to leave again, airship or no airship.
A frightful thought, given current circumstance especially. What with Trafalgar possibly leaving.
And, well, Lycoris might have some duties to return to after a year, so I suppose I want to enjoy the time with my friends that I have. One day we'll all have to part ways, but it's been truly eye-opening meeting them all. They're all from different walks of life and personality types.
She does smile a little when you say different personality types, and there is that small, like, noiseless chuckle, where it's just a little bit of a body jerk, and a little bit of a grin. Very much like my own group. She smiles a little warmer. You're all very marvellous. I knew it from the moment we met. She just, in the warmest way, you feel this raw, just, to put it in a technical way, it's like a mother's love for their daughter. She looks at you with those same kind of eyes. There's a pure happiness there for you, of you.
Oh.
And
Now I'm being daughter's own, for God's sake.
Sister's own, daughter's own, you're
Hey.
collecting the whole family.
Hey, all I'm saying is you've not indicated anything yet, so...
She's a married woman. I'm not bold enough to make that kind of move.
Not Brewin.
Just long glances at her gorgeous jawline and.
Like, why am I being brought into this, Rachel?
Brewin is not. He's not closed up about how freely he takes partners. Not in a bad way. It's a good way.
No. I feel like Brewin could initiate a throuple.
Brewin's got the confidence to get what he wants, whereas Satari just looks longingly and goes home and thinks about it at night.
Yeah.
I do like the dynamics of the party. Now that I'm thinking about it, you have the perfect scale where Trafalgar doesn't want anything, Lycoris kind of is avoiding it, but has something, whether or not she chooses to take it. It gets slightly more insulting as we go down, so apologies. Brewin isn't looking for anything romantic, but can get anything below that with ease. Esatari has harems of men that love her for who she is, but could never love them in return, because why would she? And she's not looking for that anyway. But at the same time, there's that soft level of, like, the awkwardness where if you're not committing, the other person feels kind of has this wall between you then. So instigating a sexual thing isn't much well either, because that would then need Brewin levels of confidence.
Yeah.
And then you have Inessa.
Who can't get nothing?
She just wants someone to love her
Yeah.
for her.
She's done her slut summer.
Who wants the joy of another person, but at best often finds a sexual relationship which is not really what she's after. It's just a means to an end. So literally, you guys have such, and I think about this every now and again, you guys have such wavy differences between you when you really think about it, and it's so interesting. And then there's the other bits, like the memory thing, which obviously that's mostly my tinkering, but still. Where,
That's my fault, I admit.
yes, sorry, but it's interesting. Which draws you all together, and there's this weird, you're all getting these items that are connecting you with intergalactic and universal effects, and you could become gods, and it's a whole juggling effect. And then there's the one different one out of all of you, which is Esatari, who apparently is not one of them, and is something of her own. So I just love the waviness of it all.
I like what it's you know, you say like we've got this kind of god level power.
Oh, that was weird. Hello.
Nope.
I think Discord crapped out. What did you say? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, you're giving us all these situations where we're having like a god level power.
Oh my god. Is everyone there?
My Discord went off.
Yeah.
Us as
Same.
well.
Literally, the second Megan finishes saying, giving us god level power, it just ceases
Yeah,
to
again.
exist.
It's like no spoilers.
No spoilers.
But is it me? Am I the problem?
No,
I
it
think
happened with me
Discord's the
before
problem.
too.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you ask
Yeah.
Trafalgar, the answer is yes.
Yes.
I was just saying that all we really care about is like relationships and fancying and sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all just want to be
Godhood, who
loved.
cares about godhood?
Yeah,
Who
it,
got
like,
laid?
They've got the most dramatic backdrop ever, and we're just like, okay, but the relationship.
Who kiss who?
Who
gets
kiss?
cookies?
Who kiss on the mouth?
Or more than just a mouth.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
What are you
That's
sound
what
like
Alessa's
Yoda?
after for right now. It did sound like
I
Yoda.
don't know.
Oh no, smooches on the mouth. Mm.
Vanessa has resigned herself to that.
Hey,
What
If it
kisses
turns
on-
into
what
something
kisses on
more,
the
then
mouth?
it's fine.
speak to Arcturus or whatever he's called.
Octavius?
Arcturus, the one she was dancing with.
I don't want your sloppy seconds.
I don't think he likes me. I think he likes Brewin and wanted me as an into Brewin.
That's what your interpretation of it was.
Mm.
So why are you trying to give me him if you want? He's gonna get. Either
You
way.
can be his beard.
I just mean start with someone who dance with someone and then it like causes a ripple. At least it did for me. Dance with one person, it makes someone else be like, oh, well if they want them, I want them.
Oh, they're
Well, I'm being
approachable.
Brewin's beard right now because we're dancing,
That's
and
true.
no one's coming over. So
That's because you're dancing and it's kind of
So
rude.
far.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of rude. It's not okay to walk in and be like, okay, now mine.
Then
Now
I take
Yeah.
over.
it does happen.
I,
though. You
I
cut
assume
in.
Brewin's quite intimidating.
If you're interested, though, you cut in
I'm intimidated.
after a dance or
I
something.
assume.
After a dance, but I don't think a dance is over yet, is it?
Nope.
I don't know.
These ladies have just been gossiping about what. Well, she wanted to know what got Esatari's engine revving. And Esatari was like, "Can I talk to you about plants?"
And moles.
I want, like, okay, I liked. I've forgotten my boyfriend's name.
Fucking Iltsamar.
Yeah,
Ilsima.
I like. Yeah, they're both
Lupilla.
just like they've got passionate hobbies.
They're both
She likes
book nerds.
she likes a man that likes
Yeah.
something more than just their job.
Yeah. And then that's I just want it's just someone who's just, the nobility is obviously not
Someone
for me.
with passion for something.
But I'm also just out here to have some fun.
Hmm.
So
Wait, did you say Lupilla?
yes.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah,
Where did that
suppose
voice come
I
from?
was telling her I was telling her I had some pen pals back in Gustaden. And I'll say
And she liked Lupilla, but we didn't know what was with Lupilla.
Mm.
yeah, Lupula was quite dreamy, but not that I'd know, but I definitely don't think he was interested. I don't know.
Well, if we're talking about the same young man, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what his whole deal was, but his name has come across once or twice for an arranged
Lupula was
marriage.
the very old elf, I thought.
The drow by any chance?
They're both drows.
No, she's gonna type.
He owns a house and not a bookshop.
Isn't he on like the council or something? He seems
Yeah,
Pretty
he's
much.
quite important.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
Arranged marriages?
He's also an archmage.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, oh yeah, that young man I might have heard of. I'm like, I feel like he's probably pretty important to Gustave.
He's also not that young.
Yeah.
But remember,
What race is
drow.
she?
Human?
Yeah, so she definitely should
She's
not be
gonna
calling
watch
him
her
young.
husband die. That's depressing. Anyway,
Hmm.
what's she saying about arranged marriages?
There was some gossip among some of the other handmaidens, if you want to call them that, about arranged marriages a couple of years ago, where they were talking about arranging one between Janasta and Gustaven. The name Lupula was in that list. So it kind of has gone quiet since, obviously, but I wonder if he was eligible for a time and something happened for him to change his mind. Because I'm assuming, if you've interest, you didn't see a ring on his finger.
Oh dear, I never looked.
Hmm.
I
Oh,
don't think
that shows bad on me, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, not all of us need to wear a ring. His house did blow up. Landslide!
I mean, I feel like it's a big dent in your
Lion
finances.
flag.
Yeah, it's like, I was interested in him, but then you see he kind of had a bit of a hit financially.
Yeah, he's got a big.
So I
expense
left.
coming up, so.
Oh, a link, does that mean... Because I've heard rumours. Trafalgar is potentially having gonna be getting married.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Could th-
yes, funnily enough, she should have been here by now. I'm not quite sure where she is, unless she's trying to be fashionable. Young, fiery-haired girl. Roughly about his age, for all I know. Again, I'm only human. She looks around the crowd, and she barely takes a glance. Well, you would know if you saw her. Bright red hair.
Oh wow, I was just amusing myself by imagining him getting married to Lupula's sister.
Oh,
I mean, it would work.
well, it would work.
The bitch.
But sorry, that was just my own little idle musing. Well, I should let you get back to your husband and your other friends here.
She looks over toward him, and he's currently talking to a knight, and you see they've currently got both of their swords unsheathed, and they're like comparing them, and he points to them and goes, well, if that's not a subtle hint towards what they're talking about.
Huh? No.
She's read enough books to know what that means.
Yeah.
I swear to God, men sometimes. In a weird way, it's slightly endearing, him being so simple.
Well, I do know where you're coming from.
I feel like all of us here do. But I shall get myself a refresher, and I will speak to you at some point. Do
I
behave
shall,
yourself.
I shall find someone who at least smiles when I mention moles. And I shall maybe kiss him.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's so cute.
don't go
Just
falling in
flick
love.
her hair back.
She
And she realises that she's not been like anxiety ridden about like Horus for a while.
So in that
Going
same
around,
time,
blood.
blood. It's like
You better not have killed him.
it's like the starting scene from Blade, and there's blood raining down. Yeah, as you see her walking over to Kingsley, your eyes look toward the dance floor. Dancing at the same time on, again, timey-wimey loopy stuff here, but Brewin and Anessa, you two would have just finished your second dance. You can choose the implications of that if you please. To continue, Lycoris and Trapper are now at the moment we left them, where the second song has just finished. You stand still as the music starts to play. So the important question: the Trapper's hands have not left yours yet. Do you take the social implications and continue?
Can she vibe check him?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Because before he was very much like, I don't even know who you are anymore, so it seems a bit mean to be like, let's make everyone think we're a thing when you don't actually want to talk to me right now. Where is my... Oh, I feel blind.
In a spout of wisdom that is not alien to you, especially when reading people, you look into his eyes, your hands still touching, the warmth of the room with the breeze gently blowing through the pair of you. You feel this in a lower scale, like a joy. He's happy in this moment. There is that subtle level of, not confusion, but he's just not as sure as he would like to be. He's... Yeah? Everything okay?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
His eyes do not stray from yours when you inspect his. He seems secure enough, confident enough in himself, in what he's feeling. As the music begins to play, you two are still, but he, while looking in your eyes, he makes a small eyebrow raise and points toward the dance floor.
So he's inviting her back.
It seems more questioning than it does an invite.
But she vibed with him feeling slightly uncomfortable, right? Or like, not sure.
It's not sure because that mixed thing that you have, where you're not sure which side of the memories are true. He's in the raw moment of that. But in this moment, he's feeling more of the good stuff than he is the bad. So he seems to be okay with continuing this as it is at the moment, even if nothing comes of it afterwards. Right now, he's with someone who he's very comfortable with.
I think she would be conscious of because she's been there.
Hmm.
Do I have like I think she would just say oh god.
She says that out loud. It's like, okay, fine.
I think she will be brave. And no, I think she will sort of she's still holding his hand, but she will kind of say, I'm not saying no, I'm just saying not yet. Because she can sense that he's not sure, and she doesn't want him to commit to anything. So yeah, she'll say, I'm not saying no, but I'm just saying not now, because you've been through a lot, and you might not be ready to I don't want to pressure you right now. And then I guess she will still stand there and be like,
There is that. There's that small well of concern at the start when you're saying what's essentially it's not you, it's me, and then the context is given. And the little bit of disappointment sort of slips into an uncomfortable understanding. But he releases grip. He remains in the same distance of standing, and he just does a small nod. He turns and looks towards Brewin and Anessa. Are you two looking at them?
I'll be looking at the corner of my eye. This is the dancer's finished, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want to do like a little curtsy thing that I've seen people do and like move away slightly, but watching out the corner of my eye because we dance.
does he look like he's about to ask Anessa to dance?
No, it seems more like he's turning to look at everyone else from the party to see if they're staring or not.
Staring, just very subtly.
Oh, okay.
Side-eyeing.
I was going to say, if it looks like he's about to dance with Anessa, she's going to change her mind. 100%. 100% she would. She would.
Immediately grabs his hand. It's like, we're doing this. It's like, oh, okay.
Maybe.
I can have a dance as friends.
So, Brewin
All
and
this is doing
Anessa.
is dancing with friends.
Brewin and Anessa, as the second dance ends, there's the option for a third between you two. Do you? You
Well,
don't.
preferred me.
You don't really have to care about the implications. A third dance is a subtle way of telling the rest of the party that you're engaged, not literally engaged, but you are going to engage with this person in some way. You are
Oh, God.
like there's the chance of a romantic evening or further on with you.
I'm going to do the bow that I've seen people do, very polite, and then shuffle backwards just a bit.
Yeah,
Not too much.
I shall do the same, sort of like bow and then just sort of like walk to the. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna walk towards the bar.
And then I want to say thank you for your company.
I sort of walk with her and just say, oh, "You're welcome. It's interesting to see you can actually dance."
I'm glad after this much alcohol I still can still dance a little bit.
Well, I think it's mainly the alcohol that's helping you, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
But hey, what is dancing without liquid confidence? Am I right?
Oh, I don't dance without liquid confidence. Don't
I
think I
don't
do
think
anything
you-
with confidence.
I think the only people who don't are probably professional and actually get paid.
You can get paid for that.
Yeah, there's professional dancers.
Interesting. I wanna just watching Lycoris a little.
I beg
Like,
your
like
pardon.
Chorus's voice is going through her brain. Looks like it's just the steam coming out of her. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Keeping an eye on Lycoris, but I'm gonna lean against the bar, looking a bit more open now, and looking around the room a little bit, just scanning my eyes over any potentials. Gone back to my drink and been like, asked the barkeep, be like, "You did keep it safe, didn't you?"
He gives you the raised eyebrows and he looks down at the bottle.
Have you left it out on the bar? for anyone to
You-
take.
You left it there.
I told you to look after it.
You left it in front of me. How much more can I have looked after it?
You could have put it behind the bar.
Well, while you have a point, it's still there, isn't it?
I'm just glad that you said I had a point.
It's with him.
Would you like one? And I'm going to offer a glass of it out to the bartender. And to Brewin.
Did you like that?
I'm
Now,
on,
now you're taking after me here on the random NPC.
I'm on duty, but
Sure.
no.
You doesn't have to drink it now. You can keep it for later. Under the
Yes,
bar.
you can take it when your shift is finished.
As I scan the room.
But really, you should have it now, because that's more interesting.
Yeah, there's too many eyes. I literally couldn't right now, but I won't say no to later.
Later then?
A nightcap is always a sanity saver in this place.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more.
Oh, I just meant
You
more.
don't really need to. I know that could be potentially problematic.
Oh, well, all I was going to say is just long hours and cruel people.
Cruel people.
Oh, like, I'm aware of, to some degree, you and your friend here's being here. You're adventurous. But the nobility, they don't care about common folk, like, points to himself. The only reason I even sound like this is, well, adaptation mostly, but yes, they're rather cruel.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Hmm.
Trust me, I've been on the receiving end of it many a time. Not from these, but we do survive.
Well, you
And
have
I'll
to.
give him like a little nod.
There's this strange. If this was like an RPG and there was like friendship mechanics, you've just gained a heart with this random dude.
Yeah.
Has a new dance started yet?
Yes, it's a couple of seconds in.
I look a little bit anxiously around, like, is anyone?
Has the trapper left yet?
Nope. Still,
Is he?
just
He's looking towards Brewin and Anessa, right?
he did when the dance ended to just see if anyone else was watching you two. His eyes are now back at you.
She will give out a big sigh. And she will take his hand again and gesture to the dance floor.
Yeah.
His face immediately shows confusion, and if his face could speak words, it would say, "I could swear you're bipolar. Are you okay?"
Yeah, she's gone
His
like
face
bright.
can't speak words,
She's
it's
gone
called
as
a mask.
red as.
Did Discord poop?
Cutting out again.
Discord
off again.
pooped.
Oh. No.
Yeah.
I just said she's gone really red. But she's purposefully not looking near Anessa because she knows Anessa can read her.
Like a book.
Luckily, them two were just in the middle of a conversation with the bartender, and as your hand's still in Mr. Loss's hand, his face returns to a neutral, and for possibly the first time that you've known him in this life at least, there is something of an actual smile. Not enough that it covers his whole face, but enough that you can see it in front of you. And it very quickly fades as there's a little bit of red along his own face. And there's that same kind of like anxiety of like, it's like teens that are
Yep.
touching hands for the first time. It's like all cute and coy. And then
Yeah.
he takes your other hand in his. People are dancing around you already. And though they're not obvious about it, you can feel like eyes are like looking toward the pair of you. But with his hands both in yours, You two kind of like somewhat avoiding eye contact here and there, but still looking back. He begins to dance with you. At first, it's a little awkward. You're not gonna like step on each other's toes or anything. You're good at dancing, but there is that you have to like dance slowly. You have to. It's like trying to find the rhythm again. It's like a new partner has appeared, but there's something warm to it, which is not in the context of emotion. That something like that Lycoris is used to having. And as you dance, each second stretches into infinitum. You two, you feel each other's warmth, and in the way you dance, you feel the emotion between you. It's almost like a magic of its own, and the way you associate it is pretty much like magic. Obviously, there's a bit of weirdness with happiness, and of course, it's an alien feeling. But in this moment, it genuinely is like magic. No one's cast any magic on you. He himself is still very much ginger to this whole process. But you physically feel that happiness welling up inside you. And it's inexplicable. As you two pull a little bit closer, he places his hand above the waist, being incredibly respectful, holding your other hand high up.
Grabs her titty.
Boobies! And you two dance very elegantly together, slowly together. And after a few more moments pass, do you say anything? Otherwise he will remain quiet in the moment with you.
Yes, she's gonna say it really quietly. Like, really quietly. She's just gonna say thank you, but just really, really quietly.
You don't see his face as the way you two are at the moment. His head is just shy out of view, but you're close enough to his ear to say it for him to catch it. He doesn't respond, but in the sudden change of speed, of pace in the dancing between you, it's a very small amount, but you feel that warmth get a little bit hotter. And as the third dance slowly comes to an end, you two don't even realise. Everyone of the party, give me a perception check.
Or roll really badly because it would be funnier.
Not in this
No,
occasion.
we're just going to roll natural 20s just to start.
Can you imagine 20, 20, 20?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Oh my god, it nearly was a 20.
I got a 10.
I saw the dice roll.
Yeah, you got a 10, but you're next to someone who got an 18.
And nudge and be like,
And he's not subtle.
Esatari, who is constantly on the lookout for all of you anyway, you noticed the entire time. As your eyes drifted over toward the dance floor, you saw the pair of them stood there as the music began. They were looking awkwardly, they were looking slightly uncomfortable, and then you didn't see what Lycoris said, you didn't see her mouth move. You saw the strange reaction from Mr. Loss, and then you saw them get close. You saw, in your eyes, you weren't in that moment. The song was, it's all of 2.5 minutes, if even. But for them, you can feel it just looking at them. You felt the same emotions they did on a lesser scale, of course, but you can tell the energy between them as almost like in a reaction. You blink, The room is covered in Fey energy to a very much lesser scale. There's like flickering gentle lights, these little bubbles of bright colours in the room, but between the two of them, it's like a roaring fire of rainbow light burning heavily between them, threatening to engulf the room in its glow. And as the song comes to an end, and they continue dancing for a few more moments before realizing that the music has stopped, not to use the Lycorus's heart grew 3 sizes that day thing, but you kind of like in a parental way, your heart does feel like it's going to burst out of your chest because it's so good. It's one of those things that just needed to happen in this lifetime for her. You feel second hand the joy that she must be feeling right now. Finally, one moment where it's not ruined by a fucking monster or her past or a confusion about both. And Lycoris, as the song stops, you feel Mr. Loss shifts and he stops dancing, and then you stop dancing as well as you see he's realised the song has stopped. The pair of you still holding gently, he looks toward you. There is a little tinge of red still fresh on his face, almost matching his hair. A small smile. He looks away and then looks back. He just breathes a deep sigh of relief. You see almost like a mischievous grin on his face for a moment as he looks away, and then he looks back again. Whatever it was he just thought of, he's thought better against it. And instead he just says, I don't know what's true, but whatever that was just now, that is all I will think about for the rest of my life.
Oh my god.
Lycoris has gone so red that like she's holding back the need to fan her face with her hands. She's not doing it, but she's like clenching her fists so she doesn't.
As Anessa and Bruin, you two see this, of course. You see a full flushed face of Lycoris in the middle of the dance floor. And what do you two say to each other, if anything?
I'll at this point turn around with a drink in my hand. Seeing the interaction happen, and I took a mouthful of drink
Spit take.
as I just before we see Lycoris full on flashed, and I'm gonna sort of like a bit of my drink is going to actually dribble out of my mouth, and I'm just gonna be like, just go quickly use my hand just to wipe it off my face, and I'm just gonna look to Nessa and just say, please tell me I'm not seeing things right now, and I'm seeing Lycoris blush.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I sort of look to Anessa, and I'm just going to say, try not to make this look weird, but just quickly, you pinch me, I pinch you. Deal?
I give him a pinch and it's harder than necessary.
Of course.
I'm going to give her a pinch which wasn't meant to be as hard as necessary, but I'm going to pinch mine, and then does she pinch me, I'm going to be, oh, okay, yes, real.
Definitely real.
Yeah, it's definitely real.
Wow. Well, it's an eventful night, is it not?
Well, I sort of look to the floor and look to my glass, and I just say, "Well, I'll drink to the remainder of what's left of that."
Drink to the newfound lovers and clink glasses.
As you say that,
I'm not boarding with them.
a figure walks over to the pair of you.
Figure.
Yeah,
Oh.
Suspicious.
you
It could be Trafalgar.
no, you've seen him on the dance floor. You surprisingly saw him with Lycoris earlier. As he walks over, stands next
a crisis guy, or whatever his name.
actress
Actress, that's the one.
stands at the opposite end of the bar. He makes a motion for a drink, and the bartender brings him over a drink. He then looks over toward the pair of you and says, had an interesting conversation with your friend. I feel like it was entirely a joke. But on the off chance, points to you, Bruin, I'm gonna shoot the shot. Are you an escort?
Wait, say again, sorry? I didn't hear that in bit.
He is. He totally is.
Wait, what? Lee, you
Oh,
cut
you
out.
didn't hear me. Okay.
I thought that was in character.
He basically said, "Are you an escort?"
I sort of go to drink my drink, and as he goes, "Are you an escort?" I just freeze, and I just like, what now?
He looks to you and Essa.
I'd give a subtle nod,
Hmm.
and I'd get like motion my head towards him, just like ask him.
He's looking at you with that kind of. Is she?
Oh, No, he's not
Maybe?
with me. No. I'm like, no. I step back anyway. Enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.
Oh no. Wait. He looks between the pair of you. He raises one eyebrow with a little bit of a coy smile.
He wants a threesome.
My God, no.
I sort of looked to him as he asked me that question, and then asked Anessa, and I'm just gonna walk up to him a little bit and just sort of like lean against the bar, and I'm just gonna say, that's quite the assumption to make. Where did you get that idea from?
Well, it was more an assumption on my part, but I spoke with your friend who's... And then you see he turns around, looks over toward Lycoris, who's probably like... The heat is still there, but it's fading slowly. Currently talking with Mr. Loss. And he goes, "Huh, well that is just cute. I'm glad she found someone." Anyway, your friend over there.
Oh, I'm just gonna say, of course. Of course she didn't say no, did she?
Not in many words.
I'm gonna laugh, pat the guy on the back, and I'm just gonna say, well, you're quite lucky. You've probably seen the most charming side of her, because I can tell you it's anything less than charming when she's got a blade impaled through another man.
Well, if that's what you want to call it.
And I sort of look at him and I just say, we're adventurers.
Oh, so you're literal.
We've killed people, so... And she's probably... Yeah, when I say she's impaled her sword through people, I genuinely mean it in the most violent sense possible.
Well, not to be a bit crass about it, but that's not a turn-off.
Well,
Do I know what his look was insinuating before?
Well, some people
You know
do love
fully
the
well
heat of
what his
battle, I
look was
suppose.
insinuating.
Was that correct?
Oh yeah.
He was
Oh my
angry.
I sort of just say, well, yeah, the heat of battle does bring out some people, I suppose. And I sort of look to the guy, and I'm just gonna say, I'm guessing by the sounds of it, you've been somewhat either unlucky tonight, or you've just had your eye on one person only to see that they've been swooped.
A little column A, a little column B.
I want to walk up to him really closely,
He looks at you, doesn't back away.
and I'm gonna lean in,
Raise that
and
eyebrow.
I'm gonna whisper to him, "Darling, you couldn't handle the two of us." And I'll walk off.
He grins. Oh, you know, even if you really have no intention here, even saying that much is just enough to make me want to try.
Oh.
So I sort of look to Anessa and I just say, "Come on. You should know that is something you do not say to a guy because we will jump on that."
Well,
Yup.
maybe. She'll just do a little shrug and a little wink at the guy, just...
A big curl of a grin.
Yeah, and I'm going to raise a glass, have a
Brewin-
little drink,
Brew-
and then
Brewin
just
just
sidle
raised
onto the dance floor doing the whole
Brewer
kind
just
of...
raises an
what in
eyebrow
the-
and just say, Are you really suggesting what I think you're suggesting?"
She's being alluring. Let her be alluring. She needs to bag someone.
She's not had anything all night.
Fair enough, but the fact that you've just said he couldn't handle the both of us, essentially roping me into this.
You have already roped into it.
Hey, maybe he'll find that Anessa is more than enough.
True.
I don't
Stop
want
cock blocking.
He's just out after everything. I'm just, you know.
She wants someone that's into her.
Yeah.
Not into the
Everyone-
idea of a threesome.
Brewin just sort of like.
Although at
thinks
this
of
point she
the-
might not turn it down.
Brewin just,
think
Brewin
Brewin
just
would.
looks at the looks at the implications and just looks back, then looks forward and you say, "Oh fuck it." I just sort of look. Are you still holding the bottle, or did you leave it on the table?
It's on the table.
I'm
But I've
just
taken
gonna
a glass with me.
I'm gonna grab the bottle and just pour myself another glass. Drink all of that and then pour myself another glass.
When I do that, when I walk away, I want to just be like in the kind of like a, you know, when you're like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom, and then you'd like sidle away, like swishing the hips, kind of thing like, look at me.
Is anyone else other than him looking at her? Has she drawn attention?
Oh yeah. Like,
Oh.
with beer goggles on, she didn't notice it as well. But there are a lot of eyes on her. She is a pretty woman.
Pretty woman.
Can I see anyone around us that's giving her that look?
Yes, there is a gentleman and a lady that were dancing together that are now like, they're a couple of feet apart because they're not gay. That are looking. The pair of them that were dancing together a moment ago before you and Mr. Lost stopped to talk for a second, you see that the pair of them are kind of like watching as she leaves.
Do you think they could overhear me if I said something?
Possibly.
I'm not going to be subtle about it.
Possibly, yes.
I'm gonna say to Mr. Lost in a louder than usual voice. Oh, Vanessa's finally got no dance partner. I wonder who's gonna pick her up next. She is quite wanted at the moment, in the hope that it would like egg one of them on to do something.
Oh my god.
Very confused.
You see as the two people and a person behind you that you didn't see. The two people in front of you that are dancing with separate partners right now. You see as the pair of them kind of like eye each other as they cross. And they seem to be preparing. They're just waiting for the song to end so they can do the socially acceptable thing of excusing themselves.
We're not dancing at the moment, are we?
Unless you want to.
I'll walk/drag Mestelos across towards Anessa's direction. So we can kind of like, first of all, I'm awkward, so I want this I would like a different conversation. But also I'm aware that if I stop her before she leaves the room, she might get some action, because she was looking pretty sad earlier, and even though Lycoris was frustrated, she could still see Anessa was looking pretty sad. So,
Hmm.
not that she'll admit it, but
So, Anessa, where was your intention to go?
She was just generally crossing the room.
Mm.
Because
It was just
Yeah.
a dramatic exit.
It
There
was.
no
there was no purpose
explanation.
to it. She just was like,
Chase me.
this is awkward. Well, she had the vibes from Brewin that he wasn't down for it, so, and also think that she thought that guy was coming over to hit on Brewin initially anyway, and doesn't want to just be the other person that's there. So, she's crossing over the room. Is there like little snacks or something over here or something like that?
Yes, there are small parts of food on the tables for people to just kind of...
Yeah, she's walking across and she's just like casting a little eye over on Vlad to make sure he's still okay, and then she's just gonna get to like I don't know, like one of those little olive swords or something, and just be like lump, like a nice, dainty food.
Yeah, little picky food.
Yeah.
Before you even get to touch one. Lycoris.
I will. Is she reaching for one?
You're gonna
If she-
slap it out of my hand.
If she
Slap
is,
it.
if she is, I'm gonna nab it before she does.
But I'm snacky.
A different type of challenge.
I like pointy things, and she went for something that's basically a small dagger, so I go for that.
Okay.
And then I don't really know what my play was here. Lycoris was trying to be
You
helpful,
stole
but
my fucking food.
she was trying to be helpful, but she's not very good at it. So she's gonna take the thing from in front of Anessa, and as I lean in to get it, I'm gonna murmur something along the lines of, "I may have bigged you up on the dance floor, so be prepared." And then just innocently eat the thing while looking at Anessa's reaction.
It's a mixture of things. A, she stole my food. B, she's noticed that I'm was feeling down. She's tried to help me out, which is very nice for Lycoris, and I think that maybe she's a changed woman. But also, kind of like, did I need bigging up?
I'm diverting
Am I
attention
that
away from it.
Noticed that you hadn't had any other dance partners.
Exactly.
I mean, it's that, but she's also
big up.
she's also trying to divert attention away from herself because she's aware that people are looking at her. So redirect everyone to Anessa and Essatari. I'm gonna start looking around at Essatari like, where is she?
I like the combat, like, so Brewen was kind of like doing the whole kind of setting up, playing people against each other to try and, bring the hookups about. Estari's kind of directly but fully in the mind, kind of a bit of a coach kind of thing. Like Horus just comes, like, smack the food out of her hand.
Get out there, champ!
Yeah.
I'm the well-meaning dad that doesn't really know what they're doing, but they're trying. I feel like it would. I'm gonna say, would it be helpful if you danced with Mr. Lux?
He immediately looks at you with the eyes of, please don't leave me with her.
Betrayal.
I'm repulsive. I think that you're more than capable of finishing that dance yourself, aren't you? I'm just gonna give her like a little smile, like hee 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 hee. I don't know anything.
I'll do the fucking Tsundere thing where they're like, I just lost track of the time. Okay. She's still. I don't think she's even realised she's still holding Miss Darcy's hand, but she's acting like she's not bothered.
And I'll just look at Miss Lass and I'm like, I'll leave you to deal with that mess.
I am a mess right now.
See, in a very nice way.
Has the song ended? Have I successfully distracted her long enough?
It's coming to an end.
I'm not gonna trip her up, but it's bad that my brain went there.
Can I have my food now?
You're like, how do I help her? Just push her over.
I'll offer her the half-eaten thing that I'm eating right now.
I'd rather just get my own, thank you. I'm just gonna pick another one up and like hesitate a little before I eat it. To see if I
That's
try
a-
to slap it again. Yeah.
Esatari and Brewin, you two can see them kind of like converging and being weird. What do you two want to do? Do you want to go and mingle?
Satari's like, oh god, they're gonna embarrass me again.
I was gonna say, after my conversation with the pretty lady, I'll have found another partner and have been dancing again. Still being whimsical and weird.
Talking about mole people.
It's the mushroom
Right.
people and the mole. I would like to meet mole people though. I'll be talking about that this time. Matt, do you think there are mole people? That'd be
Yeah.
like the best.
No, they run the deep state, and my intellect gathering group tells me that. Sorry, my sinuses are really shit today. They and then it's just a lot of that.
What a catch!
There's royalty like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Vanessa feels fine with her dancing with this person.
Yeah.
Don't seem so bad now, do I?
As far as she's feeling a bit conflicted because he's so far been the most involved in her conversation.
You said you'd kiss them.
I know.
not in the right
That's
way,
why
though.
she's like,
Could you imagine how hilarious that would look? For like in the case of Anessa, you kiss this random that is no threat, and it's like, oh my god, is that what she's into? Fuck!
Oh no!
I can never be that.
and yeah, and that's when I like look over.
She'd be a
and-
rock fucking bottom.
Does does Inessa look like? How does she look? Does she look happy? Does she look put out?
Quite tipsy,
Oh,
but not too tipsy. Just like a nice kind of like she's kind of forgotten. Ish,
Everybody
what
in the
happened
club?
before, and
I
she's
think-
just trying to. She's focused on trying to enjoy herself now.
has Trafalgar returned to the room yet?
Nope.
Yeah, I think she was mildly happy until you nicked her food.
Yeah.
I think she's
And then
now a
said
bit
that you had to
unhappy.
big her up because she was so desperate looking.
Like Horace is trying to be helpful. She's not very good at this. This is why she leaves it to Esatari.
Sorry, if there's a break
She-
in with the song, she will Oh, I've seen my companions over there. I have not caught up with them all evening. Excuse me.
Oh,
Oh.
Don't,
hey,
for-
you're not
don't
vibing,
forget
you're
about
not
the
vibing.
lizard men. They come out of the sewers at night.
Oh
The
my
lizard
god,
man.
this conspiracy theorist. What about the birds?
Sorry's like, I think I'm gonna have to do a bit of reading. And she'll start heading towards whatever mess is going on with her friends. But it's probably better than the mess she's leaving.
What group of friends though? Because one friend in particular is currently by the bar. The rest of them are picking food.
The food friends, the ones who
The food friends. They are friends, not food.
Friends with food.
I can't tell if Anessa and Lycoris are happy with each other or about to start slapping each other.
No, Anessa appreciates the gesture, but is a little bit insulted.
Lycoris doesn't realise that she's offended her. Lycoris thought she was being very helpful.
I know she did.
Very demure.
Very
Very
demure,
mindful.
very mindful.
See how I helped my friend by slapping her food and insulting her? Very demure.
Very demure,
Very,
very
mindful.
And I trip her up.
See how I
I thought about it. I also think
very
I think if I went to trip you up, I'm pretty sure that that someone would stop me, whether it be Esatari or the trap. Someone would stop her.
Or a
what
mole.
what if it was the hero move and they'd be like, "Oh, you tripped," and they catch me? Oh my god,
I
it's
think
like
that's
an
what she's
anime.
going for, but
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
I'm just thinking back on all of the stories Esatari's told her of
It's a
like
toy.
Esatori. But
Esatori.
that's only if she marries into high society, then she'll be Esatori.
As a
Or she marries a,
Tory.
she marries a fucking Canadian.
Darling, a story.
I'm thinking back on the
Fucking
stories that,
stories.
that she like swoons over, where
The
the
stories
hero.
of Esatori.
Yeah, exactly. Heroes come in and sweep them off
Yeah.
their feet, and she was going for that, but she realizes she doesn't have the proper context of what happens in the stories to understand what it meant. So
Yeah.
she thought, like,
you're
when
trying to manufacture that meet cute, but
yeah, but I don't know the prerequisites for the meet cute, and I got it wrong, and I slapped food out of her hand.
She's gone
so-
to meet Cube instead. Taking my fucking
Yeah, I
food.
misheard, obviously. But now we've got like the most eligible dancer here and Anessa as well, so I feel like I'm about to get swarmed.
Oh no.
You're not about to get swarmed. They
Oh,
might.
you're trying to direct the attention away
but
from
I will be in
Esatari.
the middle of a
Mm.
swarm of people, and it's going to be very uncomfortable.
No, yes.
I'll take a slight step back towards this pillar.
One thing I will note, by the way.
dragging Miss Laws with you.
Yes.
Holding his
She,
hand.
yeah, I don't think she's realised that the
With the process of everything going on, he's just kind of going with it. With
You already knew that her friends were psycho too.
with everything going on, you four in this position, you're all think to yourself of helping Anessa with some bits, and, some tricky things you can do, and you're all talking to each other about how things are, and the thing that you don't realise until now when she moves out of the way is Anessa and Asatari, you two haven't danced yet.
you haven't danced together.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm still fleeing my creepy guy.
You just
I'll
hear
offer her some of my cube.
you just hear in the background.
Hi,
Yeah,
Ted.
the sendings that you receive are actually people trying to sell you things. It's a joke. That's what this country's become. It's become a joke.
Alex,
Oh no.
You meet all sorts of
Is
people
he a
here.
vampire?
So slightly wide eyes and traumatized.
No.
Did you know about the lizard man?
Esatari, that's not real.
Okay. Good.
It's
I
crazy
thought so.
talk.
I thought so. I just
Next
wanted to make sure.
eventually introduces
Also, there are
lizard
lizard people, or that they're a legitimate race, and they don't really like that rumor much.
Well, that's why I was getting so confused.
It's just a little bit racist, to be honest.
It's okay, I was racist to Brewin earlier. I called him an angel and he didn't like it.
That just sounds.
I
like
didn't say I did. I didn't say I didn't like it. I just found it was inaccurate.
Well, he didn't like it.
You
Wait,
thought him?
he
You
doesn't
called
like
him
me.
an angel? Was that a? Were you hitting on him, or?
Well, we
I
did
feel
just
like
get
I feel like there's a
propositioned.
pickup line. You got
together.
propositioned.
Together.
He
Who-
can
who-
be
who
surprisingly
propositioned?
nice.
The guy who was dancing with you before.
I fucking knew it. I knew he had
Mhm.
the hots for Brewin.
Well, he asked me too, but I felt like also he had the hots of Brewin, so I just left them both to it.
Meanwhile,
Well, ironically, he said that he saw me. I think
meanwhile,
he was
you with Brewin, as they've all been doing that, it's mostly been just gentle, casual talk between you and Arcturus, mostly asking about the adventuring life and whatnot, about you guys in general. Anything that you give him, like, he's fully just like, okay, just like listening. And as they get past that point, he just goes, I know it was a bit of a bit of a weird introduction, but it wholly was just misunderstandings. I feel like I've insulted your friend somewhat. She is incredibly pretty as well.
I sort of look and I just say, well, we are adventurers, and well, as much as I know them by now, it'd be pretty hard to insult them, but at the same time, it wouldn't exactly. It's a thing.
Hmm. Well, there's no way I can really dig myself out of the possible hole without making it worse. So I'll do one small solid in hope that that repairs things a little bit. I am entirely still, if the decision decides to get made between you, up for some side fun. But worst case, if that's not a thing, if either of you would like to partake, that absolutely works for me. I can imagine it's a bit odd between you as a party. I'm not gonna act as if that's normality for myself, as I don't know the lifestyle too well other than what you've told me today. But just know there's no pushiness here. It's entirely just for the sake of a proposition and ending a night well. And, well, maybe continuing sometime in the future if you guys ever come back. I'm assuming you don't just adventure here solely?
Well, I can give limited information on this, but let's just say we know someone who's connecting to the host of the house.
Okay.
So that's why me and my friends are here, but other than that, I don't think I can really disclose much.
No, that's absolutely fine. It is not my business.
But I sort of like put my hand on his shoulder and just say, "Oh, it's good seeing you actually step up a little bit and be a bit more manly here. Quite cute, but let me go check with my friend over there and see if we can get something going. If not, I might have something in mind." I'll say something in mind, leaning my head to the right and sort of like nearing his shoulder and just say, "I might have something else in mind." And I walk off and pat him on the shoulder, leading with that.
There's a small grin, a little bit of a chuckle. He says it in as a delicate way as he can. Tell your friend, the one who was here earlier, I hope there's no hard feelings. And worst case, I can quite happily pay for it in whichever way she so chooses.
I sort of like walk off and just say, "Just leave it with me." And yeah, I should walk off to the house.
So, you guys were
Also
saying?
reading again. As she's tried to distance herself. Everyone's like, "Oh, let's all group up now."
Yeah.
So, what was the topic? You three.
I was offering Esatari my food and she took it from me.
Eat it from her fingers. Nom, nom, nom.
Nom, nom, nom.
Hey, we all share rations at camp. Probably looks weird to the rich people, but to us it's completely normal.
It'd look weird if you ate it out of her hand like a baby bird.
Sorry, was like, well, I've caught up with Lycoris already this evening. Have you been enjoying your first ball, Anessa?
Huh? Yes, yes. Been lovely.
Quite, yes.
Is she convincing?
No.
Didn't even roll for that.
No.
Have you enjoyed your ball, whichever number it is?
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. I've never danced so much.
Has she enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like time of my life, but yeah, I'm having a nice time.
I've had. That's what we dance now. The time of my life.
Yeah, like you do in the movie.
Yeah. I'm glad you had a good time.
I saw you
like
dancing with Trafalgar earlier. That's so
Ah.
nice. I've not seen him around.
Where is he?
He's a.
I look
Yeah.
around.
I suppose it's not
Still
really his scene,
sun.
is it?
No, I think he was glad for to get a little bit of respite.
I mean, I didn't think he wanted to be here in the first place.
No.
Sounds about right.
We're not concerned at all because I didn't see him leaving with the Nessa.
No.
So we're all, he's just gone for some quiet time.
Yeah, I just saw my two friends having a nice dance together. Thought, oh, that's sweet.
Yes, it was lovely. I had a dance with Trafalgar. I had a dance with Brewin. Very nice. I tried to eat some food.
So you're 2 for 4 out of the party now.
I suppose I am.
I've had quite enough dancing for today, so you can.
I won't
Count
be
me out.
completing the set.
I mean, you can if you really want to, but I mean, by the looks of it, I don't think you need to dance with either of us. And I would gesture to the people who I'm sure are looking in her direction.
As you look out into the crowd, the 3 people mentioned earlier are kind of like, every now and again they look over their shoulders toward you, seeing that there's a different group of people surrounding her. They're kind of gingerly warded off for now.
Brewin's blocking you.
Tara will kind of just like take a little bit of a step towards Lycoris in case they're weird guys and they've previously seen her.
I'm ready to knee more people in the balls
Yeah.
if I have to.
So they know I'm with my protector.
Oh,
This time I have
yes.
backup. You'll have 2 sets of knees.
I heard something about me. What was that, Rachel?
I said Brewin's huge. Like, you're a huge dude and you're stood directly in front of her.
Wait, am I there yet? Or have I?
Oh yeah, no,
on
no,
the
you're there.
map, you're right in front of her. Maybe stand like over here by the table, so if people want to get to her, they can. Because at the moment, you're like this huge trunk of a man stood directly in front of her.
Fine. I'll just walk nearby, and I'm just gonna sort of like lean by and just say. I sort of look to Vanessa and just say, "Oh, you didn't really make me walking away look that awkward." And it's not. Yeah, you're pretty much oblivious to this. I'm just like, 1 second. I'm sorry, I thought my mum was leaning to the door again.
You don't want to be
Right.
saying that when your mum's listening.
No, pretty much. I sort of lean in. I just say, "You left that a bit of an awkward time, and didn't make it look too awkward." Looking at you, Anessa, and I'm just saying, by the way, matey over there's pretty interested.
Interested in you? Me?
No,
Us?
interested in both of us, apparently. He's actually, well, he's more or less stepped down from being, well, very, shy and coy about it, and he's just somewhat up the ante slightly, and has just said that he may want a little something involving the 2 of us.
And what do you think about that, Brewin? I'll give him like a little head cock to one side.
I just say, oh, I've had quite a few. I've had a bit to drink, and also I may have a fallback of a possible 4th if you are interested.
You know.
You mean what? Have a fallback? What?
I said
That's me asking.
I said I also have a 4th person if you're interested.
Yeah.
Safety in numbers and all that.
I'm going to I want to insight check Brewin and be like, is he pulling my fucking leg?
Go for it.
One of the many.
One
Where's
less
my
than usual, though.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. 19.
Getting a lot of 19s today.
I know.
Is Brewin
I'm gonna get a failure on a performance check now if something does happen.
in any way whatsoever trying to hide the fact?
No.
you deduce solely by mannerisms. It's more his forte to read people, but he's not showing any signs of like trying to lie to you. You've known him for long enough by now. You can kind of get his tells. It doesn't feel like he's lying to you. It feels like there's actually another person that you've not been informed of yet.
I'm just gonna sort of
No,
like.
I mean, like, does he actually want to do that?
Oh yeah, well,
He's not bothered. He'd be into it.
brilliant.
Hello.
What's your answer?
Rowan just sort of like reaches into his shirt pocket and just dangles a sort of like random keys. Yeah, these aren't mine.
Oh,
Oh. Interesting. Well, as much as you know, I'd be intrigued. And I'll give him a little look up and down. I don't. He just doesn't speak to me. Whoever that was, that guy. I just feel like he's just doing his rounds and. Nah.
I sort of.
But I suppose I shouldn't be the only one not getting any tonight.
I sort of look to you as you say that, and I'm like, really? I genuinely, but Brewin genuinely looks a bit odded out. Like, really? Huh.
About what?
About what you just said. Brewin will just say, "Oh, well."
He's not used to rejection.
No, Brewin will just say,
everyone's like, I'm doing the
"Not
exact
gonna
same
lie.
thing.
Out of most of the people here, I didn't think you would, well, flat out reject it, but alright, okay."
More
Gosh.
for Brewin.
To tell the
just-
truth, in the past I probably wouldn't have done, but
I sort of look back
I just
behind
need a
me,
good example.
and I look to you, and I just sort of like give you a pat on the shoulder, followed by,
Discord crash.
well, I'm assuming that everyone here is going to be turning in, and well, I've got things to be planning, so I'll see you guys at some point in the morning. And Brewin's just gonna disappear.
As soon as
He's
Brewin leaves,
gonna
I'm
go
gonna turn. I want
dead.
to turn around to like Horace Tower and be like, "What the fuck?
I'm confused right now because
Did that just happen?"
This would be the other
like
thing that
over and propositioned you.
I'm not sure if you noticed this, but what I was meant to do, and I forgot to say, Lee, is I want to carry the bottle with me and then carry it back.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
I've been on the drink.
So keys tucked back in the shirt, bottle in his hand. He walks away.
If you chase after him, it will cause a scene unless maybe just let him have the bottle.
I really want the bottle.
Bottle if you're about to dance.
And he picked
You
up
do want to find someone to rock your world, right? That's what the implication you were making with Brewin.
I don't know what implication. I was just so taken aback. Okay. Yes, well, perhaps it would be nice to have a little dance with someone who's not in the party. She looks a little bit ruffled.
I'm gonna gesture towards the people who are probably about to finish their dance that are looking in our direction and say, I
Mhm.
don't think you're gonna have trouble with that. Maybe
I'll,
one of them will rock your world or whatever it is you said to Brewin.
I don't think I said anything about world rocking.
You
to
said
Brewin.
you shouldn't be the only one going home alone.
Oh yes, I was more insinuating, and I would just look between her and Mr. Loss and be like, never mind.
Oh, I thought you were trying to imply that you wanted the other guy to be single.
I see we all took a different thing from this conversation. People are complex,
Hit
huh?
that everyone else is
Communication is
getting
difficult.
is pairing up.
I'm going to be honest here. This entire situation is odd. You...
You're telling me.
He looks between you each. Looks at you, Asatari. You're
Oh.
quite clearly more invested in other people's happiness. He turns, looks at you, Vanessa. You're quite clearly looking for something meaningful.
No,
But-
no. Don't know what you mean.
Uh-huh. But you're not gonna find it in a place like this. And you're probably not gonna find it in the party. Because everyone else has mismatched ideals to yours. Evident by the fact someone you could have just had a random swing with, who you know you can trust, who is also part of your party, just walked away. So, you clearly want something meaningful.
Well, I just thought it's best not to mix party with pleasure. Little glance at.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He sees,
Sorry, definitely making eye contact there, like, hey.
looks at the pair of you.
He doesn't know
Uh-huh.
the previous stuff, does he?
No,
Oh,
he's
no,
looking.
oh.
He's looking between you both, and he's making the connection. Yeah, glancing over that. What are you? You can't seriously say you're not seeking something meaningful.
It would be nice to be a good role model for Vlad and put all that kind of thing behind me.
Yeah, but he looks forward. Firstly, look at that boy. He's been drinking things you wouldn't abide. He's been doing his own thing. He's been, well, talking to girls to some extent.
A girl, one girl.
Well, sure.
That you know.
But he's growing into a man, and you're, I don't know what the equivalent is for an Aranea, but I believe at least a young woman. You're viewing something as simple as sex through a concerned lens, and you're lying to yourself if you think it's to be a role model for him. I don't know what your past is, but it is just that. That is your past. And he looks...
Oh my god.
He looks at Lycoris and then back at you. If we, with our weird past, can... Then he looks down at you two's hands, which are still locked.
Eh. Give him a little grin.
Then I'm pretty sure you'll be fine. And anyway, what are you worried about? You're all insanely powerful. Anyone that bothers you, you can just snap your fingers and watch them fall dead.
Yeah, we can.
You especially.
And you can sleep with whoever you want here because we're going to be leaving soon anyway.
Exactly.
Well, that's true, but if I would have taken Brewin's proposition, we would have been leaving with the
Well,
people. I feel like I
what's-
made the right choice.
I know I'm not one to comment on any of your relationships, but I don't think watching you stifle your own happiness is a good role to set for Vlad.
She speaks truth. So wise. So beautiful.
She is so wise and so beautiful.
And very...
I assume they both say this out loud. Sorry, like,
Yeah, that was Rachel. Lycoris would never say such a thing.
every time I start with wise and beautiful.
Mr. Loss leans forward a little and quietly says to you only, yeah, she's kind of scary when she talks that level of truth.
Okay, well, well, if I'm going to have a chance at pursuing my unhappiness or whatever that is, then you guys better go and finish your dance, and Azatari, you should go and dance with that mole guy.
I think
or someone who you would like to dance with.
Does it have to be that one?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I can't remember the personalities of anyone else.
They're all quite personality-less.
yeah, that's the problem. I'm gonna say to Anessa, I'll give her like a light pat on the shoulder and just say, well, if you do decide to take anyone to your chambers, perhaps give Vlad a heads up, as you were sharing the other night, and that could be very awkward.
Oh God. You just talked me into it. Now you're talking me back out.
And then I'm gonna look. Is there a clock in the room anywhere?
There's one that hangs very gently above the fireplace that's showing it's nearly midnight.
I'm gonna look at the clock and say, I think it might be time for me to retire. There's been quite overwhelming. But by all means, tell me how it goes in the morning, and then I will stop and just sort of double check first whether Esatari is going to be all right on her own.
But yeah, before she leaves, Estari's just gonna speak. Or just say, she's like, you're right, it is late, and you know who else is late? Trafalgar's fiance, who I know something about. Night night. She's just gonna like make direct eye contact with like Horace and do a little smile, like, hey.
I make direct eye contact, and then I'm like, because she's still pretending not to care, because you know Trafalgar's leaving and she's feeling butthurt about it. So I will just curtly reply in her head, oh well, please do let me know if you see her or him, although I suppose they may already be together as they're neither in the room.
Oh, you're no fun tonight.
It's been a roller coaster of emotions. And then I guess I'm gonna try and she will be like, she's gonna retire to her bedroom and then think, I guess I'll let go of Mr. Loss's hand. I assume he'll stay here.
Nope.
Because like Horace is like that.
As you let go of the hands, there is no change in demeanour. He simply looks down at first and then notices, looks around the room. Obviously the topic of conversation is people leaving. I might sit around for a few more minutes, just in case Brewin or Trafalgar come back.
I nod, and I will go back to our rooms, but I'm not going to go in the rooms. I'm assuming Esatari's going to be there for ages, but I'm just going to go sort of have some fresh air on her balcony for a bit. I'll let her know before I go, because if she comes back with someone, it's going to be well awkward. So I'll just give her a heads up that
You just spider climb your way out.
yeah, awkwardly onto the roof and pretend I was never there. Then I'm gonna ask her if I can just prop her door open so I can kind of chill on her balcony for a bit.
Estari's fine with that.
And then I'm gonna leave. Whee! Whichever is the exit.
Both.
She just goes to all the doors like, oh my god!
How do I get out of here? So, as the night's slowly folding, as Brewin's already gone by this point to mingle.
I've gone to find the other woman who gave me the keys and who was, well, unless she went back to her place before I even had a chance to find her.
She was dancing, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
She has caught your eye as she got to the door, and she does a little hand wave to you, and you see the person she's currently dancing with, just some random dude. Nothing to really double look at. She gives you a small wink and looks up to the clock. As you kind of look up toward the clock as well, look over toward her again. As she's dancing with the man, she gently holds her arm out and holds up 5 fingers and waves them as if to say 5 minutes. Then places her arm back onto him, and they continue dancing.
Right.
And meanwhile, I'm just going to say to the other guy who's with me, and just say, yeah. I'll sort of look to what's his name? Is it Arceus?
Arcturus?
Yeah.
Arcturus? Arceus?
Arcturus. Just
Arcturus.
Arceus. Sorry, Karen.
And I'll just look to Arcturus and I'll just say, this is the other plan.
She's not bad, I'll say that much.
Not bad.
Not Nessa, but not bad.
Hey!
I'll
I'm
sort of
assuming
look.
that's what not bad means.
I'll sort of look to him and I'll just say, yeah, we've had flings in the past and etc. And I'll be testing out to see whether she's up for, well, dabbling something in something interesting.
Well, I've usually got an eye for these things, and I can't say she looks like she's dabbled quite a bit.
She looks like a hoe.
A devil's three-way. I think that's a normal day for her.
Jesus Christ, he is flaming her.
I sort of raise an eyebrow and just smile, look onwards, and I'll just say, well, quite the accusation, but...
Oh, that's no accusation. That was a compliment.
I'll sort of smile and I'll just say, I think you'll probably score a lot more of ladies if you're not too blunt. Because if you're too blunt, you'll be scoring barbarians and...
Oh, well, I would not say no, but...
Well, it depends on how you like it, but I've heard stories of men with crushed pelvises, and that was even before they even got to debut to marriage, so... Unless you're looking to have your pelvis crushed before marriage, I'd hold out for the marriage part. And exploring other avenues, mate.
I'm not particularly interested in... He makes a motion of a ring around a finger. It's just...
Yeah, that's what the motion is.
Kitty. It just... I'm still... I don't know, I've been damaged by a relationship before, and it just left a bitter taste. It's just easier for flings. Like, don't get me wrong, open communication is fully needed. But
my apologies, mate. I assumed that the end goal for you was probably marriage, but the fact you're actually taking time on yourself to figure out things, kudos to you, mate.
You see, he's had more of a neutral, gentle smile the entire time up until now, where there is a quite clearly false half smile, where it's like there's a bitter sting to it. Yeah.
But I sort of give him a bit of a hearty pat to the back, and I just say, but let's not make that to sully your spirits, mate.
No, it wouldn't. It's the best part of the night, after all.
Exactly. Plus, I've been told that I've had good effect on people, so you're in for a good night, mate.
You better be able to keep that going. That positive energy will work wonders.
You'll be surprised with what energy I can spark up, mate. I sort of stretch, sort of
flashback to every other encounter. So, for the sake of a bit of speed, because we are now on 11 o'clock, which holy fuck,
yeah, we are.
That lady and Arcturus head to her little hotel room that is across the road. And, well, needless to say that things go very, very delightfully well. And we will leave it at that. Anessa Esatari for the remainder of the night, unless there's any encounters that you feel important to your characters. Which, tell me now.
She will dance a second dance with the weird guy, but that is it.
The weird guy.
She said she likes passionate people.
Passionate about the wrong things there.
Yeah.
Yes, Anessa would like to dance with someone who's actually nice.
It's
Just dance.
Well, I
it's
suppose
hard.
she'd see.
It's hard to get the diamond in the rough in a place like this. A lot of it, possibly from Anessa's perspective anyway, it would be like talking to a TikToker that's in TikToking like base mode, where they have to act as a public figure. It's very hard to like differentiate between who's trying to get in your pants and who's actually wanting to just have a connection and just communicate. Some of them will talk to you like fully wholeheartedly, like, this is my interest, what's yours, how are you, where are you from. Others, they have a weird, they do the same thing but it just feels weird. Some of them are just better at hiding what they're truly trying to say. You do find a few, but I would say in the case of the amount of time you've got left before the night ends, you find two possible, we'll call them suitors, air quote, but there's no one that really hits that mark for you.
I will pick the nicest one.
Okay. And
Those.
what would Anessa do with that person?
She'd probably, as it seems like most other people are starting to leave, she will offer them a nightcap. And call that same person who she asked last night to get her that drink to fetch 2 glasses, please. She's gonna make sure that Vlad heads off to his room with whoever he was with, the trapper and whoever it was. It was in the room with him.
Ishkari.
I'm going to ask them to wait by the bar for me. I'm going to make sure Vlad goes to his room and ask him about this girl, if he's had a good time and stuff like that, and then give him a big hug, good night, and tell him I will see him in the morning. And then I'm going to go back to the bar, and then I'm going to do the whole, would you like a nightcap?
So, a swift response for you. In essence,
Assuming they're
he's...
interested.
Huh?
Assuming that they're interested anyway.
Yeah, they seem more than interested for it. There's this kind of like low-level feeling you have of they're not directly trying to get in your pants. It's weird.
But they wouldn't say no.
But they wouldn't say no. Yeah, Vlad, he has this new energy about him just from, well, talking with people his own age and having this weird kind of raw emotion bubbling in him for a little bit. And like, he tries to be vague. Your brother and sister, you don't want to talk about the whole cutesy funny things unless you're in a serious moment. This is one of those moments where it's like, haha, yeah, it was whatever, but you can read him like a book. He enjoyed himself. He had a very good time. And in a weird way, he can see that you're in some way having a good time too, or at least you're trying to. And he kind of does that look he does when he knows what's up, but he doesn't say it. And he wishes you a good night. And he wanders off to his room. The girl that he was talking with had followed to this point. she stood a couple of feet back so that you can actually talk, and then he waved her off as she returned to possibly her father or brother. You're not too sure which. And as he goes to his room, she goes off with her family. You return to your room with that figure in tow. You enjoy a couple of drinks, and to be honest, you'll talk. Generally speaking, it won't get like raw and emotional. It's not this fantastic finale, but at the very least, it's nice to be you with someone who is not judging you, someone that will just listen. Even if you tell him nothing of any real import, like your mother's an insane batshit bitch who's trying to control you or something with magic, it's a confusing thing. He listens, and something will only happen in every other instance if you choose for it to happen. Otherwise, he fully like falls asleep on the floor, KO'd to fuck by drink. And
She'd like to, I don't know. Just gonna thank him for listening to her, and she doesn't often have these moments of vulnerability with people, and well, now she'd like to forget it all and just bang. Woo!
Nice.
But then she's just gonna, but afterwards, she's just gonna very quietly ask for a cuddle.
Oh.
There's that. Afterward, there's that subtle like giggle you hear from them, and they go.
If you're going to laugh about it.
No. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. No one really. A lot of it's very impassionate, and usually implications and the society we live in is really stupid. Yes. Sorry, I'm mumbling. Yes.
Okay then, if you want to.
Oh,
And then
yes.
I'll curl up and so I can be little spoon.
And then you enjoy a bit of comfort for the rest of the night.
Yay.
A warmth with you that isn't fire or like your brother in the same bed because there's no other room. It's an actual person that you kind of feel at least some degree close to that isn't your party. It's a fresh face to add to the repertoire. Ishikari is alive.
Okay, that's fine. I was just
trying
I
to
had
find him earlier.
I had a moment where I was like, please don't tell me when to come back from the ball and he's missing.
He's floating a few feet off the air, going hum num shavai, hum num shavai.
But I'm not even like a proper thing. She's literally just gonna pop her head in and be like, "You okay?" And then if he's like, "Yeah," then she'll be like, "Okay, I'll see you in the morning."
Was Vladslin there?
Oh, he's in there too. Yeah.
That's back out again.
I'll give an awkward night to Vlad as well, I guess. I've left Esatari's room by this point, by the way.
What does that Atari do?
Yeah.
Atari goes home alone.
Oh.
Oh.
But she's fine. It was her choice.
Well, I want to know if Mr. Lost comes knocking now.
Yeah. Yeah. Atari thinks, oh, I should have chatted up the bartenders. They're probably much better.
As you
Vanessa tried that.
as you say that, and as you're the
The
turning
god.
to go, the turning to go to your room. Okay, hold on. Let me at least get my speech out, and then you'd be like, "Oh my god!"
Sorry.
As you're at the turning
It's
to
the
go
mole man.
to your room.
Hey, oh my god, I forgot to tell
He
you
was a
about the
mole
space
man.
lasers.
All along.
No. As you're at the turning that leads from one hallway of guest rooms and the other leading to yours, you hear a gentle clinky clanging of steel toes, familiar to the sounds of armor, coming from the hallway leading from the spiral staircase that goes out into the garden. You hear, every damn day I have to keep telling him, if he keeps on whacking his sword freaking all over the pavement, it's gonna just ruin it. You fully see a guy in armor, walking along, just talking to himself, as no one else is in the hallway except for you and like one other person at the opposite end of the hallway.
He's obsessed with the shrubbery at this point.
Each and every time I have to see them trim it just, oh, they don't do it right, and when they're pulling out the roots, and and then he's currently got his middle fingers poking very gently into what the like corners of his eyes, as if he wants to poke his own eyes out, like, oh, why do they just keep doing it? They're doing it wrong. I know I'm just a... And then he looks forward and sees you, realizing he's talking out loud to himself. Um, sorry, I do that sometimes. Wait, you're one of the... you're one of the people who helped out the other day with the thing. How was the ball?
It was fantastic. The food was great. The music, it was really, really beautiful. I thought you might be there yourself, but
Oh,
I'm guessing you're on duty.
yeah. And, you see he's like playing with his fingers, like pulling at them a little bit. It's a nervous energy reaction. Yeah. There was a bit of trouble at the front gate, and they wanted more hands, and people were trying to get in without an invitation, and then some guy jumped the fence and fell into the brush, and it completely ruined the whole dynamic of the place. The feng shui is way out of practice now.
To be honest, I think it sounds like you've had a more exciting evening than anyone else in here.
I did have to chase a guy across the courtyard. That was pretty fun. What about... Wait, so does that include you? Were you not having fun?
I was having some fun,
You
but
can have
not
even more fun.
but not leaping walls and ruffled shrubbery fun.
Ruffled strawberry? Oh my god, do me the pants!
He wants her to she wants him to ruffle her shrubbery.
I suppose, though, I'm honestly, I don't think I'm really cut out for all of this. It's just what I kind of got signed up for.
Be passionate!
You see he's biting his lip a little bit, looking away.
Are you still on duty?
Oh, no, I finished about... looks around the room. About 10 minutes ago, I think.
Well, I was just about to take a walk around the grounds before turning in to, cool down a bit and get a little bit of peace of mind under the stars. Would you care to join me?
At first, as he's about to say it, there's a pure plain face, and then there's a part of him where he realizes something, and he kind of goes a little bit white, and he looks away, and his eyes kind of like darting around as he's thinking, and he starts talking. Yes, there's implications at the middle of the night of a man and a woman walking around the brush.
I'm a guest here, and you're a guard. It surely isn't that uncommon for you to escort me home safely.
His eyes stay in place and kind of looks at the ground. He thinks about it. He looks at you, and you see the nervous like reactions of his fingers, pulling his fingers, and sort of stops when he goes, right, yeah, sorry, I'm really just not a good guard. You look, and then you see that face of him about to give you a general compliment, and then he looks you up and down. Amazing. Sorry, that was probably a little bit weird. But no, seriously, you. Yeah, let's go outside.
Thank you. And a little bit of weird is fine by me.
E.
Oh.
Have you ever spoken to a mole? Just go outside with him on that note.
Actually, yes. Can we keep him?
He's meant to be a guard. Maybe he'd be better off on the airship. You never know. Offer him a job. Let's keep him.
From a job.
Well, he is
I'll pay his salary. Let's keep him. I can pay. I have money.
You hear in your mind from the distance. You don't know where it came from, and you're pretty sure that's not something Lycoris would ever say. That's absolutely what you think you're hearing right now. Totally.
My God, are you still connected?
It's only speech, no.
So, you two explore the garden together. It's much more expansive than what you saw. He shows you these little areas where rabbits have made their warren, their little burrow, hidden by a bit of foliage. He says, as much as he doesn't like the giant hole in the garden, it's much more delightful to have these little animals here, since they're not really much of a bother. And every now and again he comes by and just gives them a little bit of feeding here and there, little scraps of leftover food from his meal, and walks you around, shows you the rose bushes, the assorted areas where these tangle vines are growing, which mostly live and grow around other plants. And it's kind of like he tells you specifically what all they do is really they bind around other plants. Caressing them is the word. Where they just attach to them. They don't stop their growth, they grow with them and expand. They're kind of like a backpack. And at some point he shows you this little part of the ground that seems to have been dug up and covered back over, which is pretty fresh. And he says, this is where we found where I found the mole. Seriously, I was not kidding. It did talk to me. People keep on telling me I'm weird. It spoke. I don't quite get why. He asked me for food. I freaked the fuck out and I ran to get him some food.
Oh.
Yes.
Mm.
Sarah will have shared her story of the mole they met and how it could speak. And had it been like a wizard's pet or something? I can't remember.
No, it was just a natural creature.
Oh, but it could actually speak, and it had spoken to people before.
Well, if it's the same mole and it's fate.
Yeah, and I'll make our way back towards where my rooms are.
As you make your way back, enjoying a nice walk for a couple of minutes. As you look at the door, he stands a couple of feet away with a little smile and says, "Well, good night. Mrs. Satari, right?"
That's right. Well, thank you very much for escorting me. And she'll kind of give him a kiss that's kind of like, just on the corner of the mouth, kind of like,
Nice.
yeah. I hope
There's
we get to speak again before we leave.
there's a grin and an immediate rush of red. I'm gonna go now. And he just starts running. Click, clack, click, clack, click, click.
And that's how I go to bed. But happy.
Oh, it's so
So
cute.
cute.
We'll leave it there then. As everyone gets their little slice of happiness at the end of the night. Some of you a little bit more three-dimensionally, shall we call it. Bow, chicka, bow,
3D.
bow. Yeah, that'll be all.
Nice.
God, these games last so long because we are fucking addicted and I love it.
We like the slice of life stuff.
Yeah.
Without too much.
Okay. Well, I really have to pee, so I'm going to disappear now.